Hola and welcome everybody to Monday Night Fire Shrike. So we get a bit of like the recap bit from the last, and we get like a bit of like Xander and Shaba and Loyalty Dash Zero landing on this moon. We get them kind of like a bit of them sneaking up to this detention facility, um, and we get like some conversation between Zai and Vesa as they were kind of walking from a couple weeks ago as they were working their way through the ship and what have you. We also get like a little bit of conversation with the group on the still on the stellar flare, kind of discussing how they're going to approach this detention center, this moon and whatnot. Um, and we get like a bit of conversation about like Mother Task. Who is Mother Task? What is this structure here? What can we? Who is this? Who is the the people that we're talking about here? And then we get like a bit of Shaba, um, you know, and Loyalty Dash Zero with that sort of like translucent, ooh, we're invisible, and kind of trying to sneak past some guards, and and we see a red light go off, and there's a bit of like a flash, and the invisibility blow wears off, and we get like some alarms going off. We get a bit of and then we get like the conversation with the crew talking to Melp on the other side of things in the stellar flare as he describes Commander Loblom and Inquisitor Flep. And we get like Xander trying to go back to the ship, and it's boarded by a whole bunch of like these cosmic curve cabal soldiers and what have you. And then we see Xander kind of going off to find a cave to hang out in. And then we see like Shaba and Loyalty Dash Zero back to back as Shaba starts to try to cast a spell, and Loyalty's got his pistols in his hand. And the we see like this Inquisitor Flep and a whole contingent of like these Carve Cabal guards, like sort of have him surrounded. And Shaba tries to cast a spell, but Inquisitor Flep is a little bit quicker and throws a grenade that causes a bunch of electricity to like shoot out all over the ground, catching Shaba mid spell and disrupting it, while Loyalty Dash Zero leaps completely off the ground at just the right time to avoid the electricity. He is an operative after all. Um, and that's kind of where we kind of like fade to black, and we get the big Fire Shrike logo across the screen, and we come in, and we get the impression like we're on like sort of like we're looking down a hallway that looks like it could be in maybe a space station or a spaceship, some sort of constructed environment. And we get like we don't see anybody in the hallway. We just hear boots, like as they like hit the floor. for a solid, 3 seconds. And then we and then we see the boots, like, because maybe the camera's sort of at ground level, and we see the boots, and all we see is these black metal boots with like metal shod boots with like spikes and fucking chains and shit all over them. Just uh and as the boots walk farther away from the camera, they we see like this person is decked out in all of this, in this sort of like armor that's all spikes and fucking black. And it's just, he's got a helmet that's sort of tucked under his arm. And we can't see his face because his camera is from behind him. But as his head kind of comes into view, we see like blonde hair. He looks to be human from the back. And we see him kind of like um, we see him like go towards the end of this hallway, and he knocks on a sort of knocks on a door, and maybe we get like um, that cross cut, or the sort of like wipe, and we kind of get like a closer view. He's sort of standing there, and we see that this is someone we already know. This is Commander Jake Dawson, the first officer under Cervantic Cordrum at the Battle of Patella, and what have you. And we see like there's uh, we see like the door open, like it just whisks open, and he walks in, and we see around the table a number of other figures that are like dressed in various manner. Like there's two or three that are dressed in the same spiky, black armor, the really intimidating stuff. There is a man wearing sort of lighter armor. We've seen him before as well. He's human as best as anybody's guess is, or at least based off of a human. We see Calidus Pule, like this sort of like, I think I described him as being sort of like mid 50s or whatever. Like his hair's got like gray streaks running through it and whatnot. Um, and he's standing there at the table, looking a bit uh, impatient. And we get like and we get Janice McClare, who is standing there, who is also standing there, looking incredibly impatient and upset. Appears to be a human woman, very smartly dressed for business attire that undoubtedly is also armor. The And her aides are, she's got like an aide standing next to her or whatever. And then there is a there is a like maybe Lieutenant, maybe Commander Dawson kind of looks at McClare and looks at Calidus Pule, Dr. Pule, and um, kind of like he got like the very strict posture and whatever. And McClare looks at him and says, "Where is he?" And and Dawson says, "The captain will be along shortly. He had a couple of things he wanted to take care of before the meeting." And it's like maybe they look over and maybe they're like we hear a voice from the other end of the table we haven't seen yet, and we know this voice already. It's Savoris Riven, and he like the Lashunta businessman, and we kind of Vasa's father. We see him kind of standing over there. He's got like his he's got a very calm look on his face, but as the camera kind of like pans over to him and kind of gets closer, you can see like a dark cloud swirling in his eyes, quite literally, sort of in the back. Um, just like this shadow that's like behind, just seems to be just behind like the surface of his eye. his eyes, and there's a we hear we hear the boots coming down the hallway again. They seem somewhat heavy, um, and there's a bit of um, a feeling of ominence come to them. Uh, they stop for a second, and then the door whisks open, and Captain Cervantic Cordrum walks in. Um, he's got his helmet on, but like maybe he's got his visor up. Um, and he kind of grumbles as he walks in. It's something incoherent, and McClare is like, "You see, because," and she's like, "Finally," she's like, it's like if you were any later, we would have had to start without you." And Cordrum just kind of looks at her and says, just kind of looks at her because this "I don't give a shit" look on his face, and he's like, it's like he just kind of is like, "I had business to take care of." He goes, "Do I ask where you're at when you're late to something?" She starts to say something, and she's kind of cut off by Soros Riven. He kind of like waves a hand. And he's like, "We're since we're here, finally, all of us here. Perhaps we should get to business. Keep this thing relatively short because quite frankly, we need to deal with the situation." And Calidus Pule kind of leans back and he's kind of leans back in his chair, and Soros Riven is like, "The Dominion is not happy with our progress. Zai, King Zai Volvetto and his band have made it to the Tinkerverse at this point. We've been instructed to launch a fleet." And he says, "The majority of the fleet will stay here. The commit this the It says, along with our new ally, the Queen of Venom, her fleet will be en route. They will be at the designated point when the final assault begins. We know where the Valatesh is, and we don't have all of the code of definition, but Volvetto's crew does. And eventually, they're going to want to come into contact with us to get our fragments." It says, "That confrontation will happen either on his terms or ours. It's going to be on ours, and it's going to be at the time of our choosing. And he won't even know he's chosen the place." It says, and Cordrum is like, "So far, you haven't even told me what this Valatesh even looks like. In case I happen to run into it first." And and maybe like Janice McClare is like, "That's none of your concern. You know what your mission is." He's like, "You know what your duties are. And the Valatesh is beyond them." And Calidus Pule, it kind of speaks up here. And he's like, "I think what we're getting at is, Captain, you're going to be, but first of all, I don't want to be rude. So I think maybe I will, at least one of me, can be somewhat polite. Congratulations on being brought back to your former rank and your former position. Now that that's over, you're leading the fleet into the Tinkerverse. You're our first our the we've had several ships go missing in the Tinkerverse. We know where it is. The Dominion can get you there along with a fleet. Um, yes, and you probably don't. Your Volvetto, at least Volvetto and a few of his crew have to make it out of the Tinkerverse, but that doesn't mean they all have to make it out. It says, most importantly, we need the information that that Xander unit is holding Xander 1. We need to know how to use the code of definition. They have a Xander unit we don't. So perhaps you should make capturing their Xander unit a priority while you're there. You can stave off your personal vendetta until after we have possession of the Volatesh and the information we need. And Savoris Riven kind of is sitting at the end of the table quietly, just sort of letting Kalos Pule bring this up. Um, but he seems to be the one that's sort of in control of the meeting itself. Um, McClara is like, is just kind of is like, and what about your what did he says? And what about Whoosh G Nay? Wasn't he supposed to be at this meeting? Wasn't 42 supposed to be here? Like, it is like, Pule looks at him and said, oh no, 42 is busy laying the groundwork. You needn't worry about him. And he says, he says, you've got your fleet and you're in charge of, when you're, where your forces are supposed to muster and marshal. Cordrum, you'll be making the jump by the end of the day. And as for the rest of you, stay close. Keep communication lines open. I have a feeling that we'll be improvising some things. And there's and I think from the end of the table, Savoris Riven kind of pipes in for the first time since the beginning of the meeting, and he's like, and Cordrum, capturing Xander is a priority, but if you have the opportunity, bring my daughter back here too. This is, or make sure she doesn't leave the system alive. Whichever's easiest. And Cordrum kind of like Cordrum is like kind of grunts and goes, I'm not here to take care of your family business. So I'll take care of my mission. He said he says anybody gets in my way, well, that's its own story. And he says, but you can shore up your own personal business on your own time. And he kind of turns and walks out. And Calidus Pule goes to make goes to like looks like he's about to start casting a spell or something, and the starts to make some sort of movement, and Savoris Rhythm just holds his hand up and says, "Let him go. He'll serve his purpose." And then we come back, uh, and we flash back. When we come back, we come back to directly to uh, we come back to Shaba and Loyalty Dash Zero. You have I need to bring up a couple things here. I'm gonna bring up his character sheet, and I need to bring up this one as well. Keep them separate here. And I will need find that piece of paper or a piece of paper. Yeah, it'll be fine. So, Shaba, I need an initiative here from you.
This time, don't roll a 1.
Well, yeah, I'll try not to.
And if you do, you can blame it on me.
I'm still blaming that on you.
Is that a 2?
No, it's a 5.
All right. Well, let's see what Inquisitor Flep's initiative is.
29.
24.
Well, a hell of a lot better than mine.
How about we trade? Is that cool?
No. It's not
I
how that
tried,
works.
man.
I can't use my scholarly reroll.
Not on initiatives.
If only. So I might actually go on 12 that way.
All right. So, Inquisitor Flep, this is on the heels of, uh, the grenade and what have you. I think Inquisitor Flep he's probably going to cast a spell here. Question is, what is he going to cast? How many of each of these does he have? He's got 4. Really? I thought I had that filled out. Oh, that's the wrong character sheet. That's why. Duh. So I need to go here and go here, and he has castable per day. Okay. Do, 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 do. Get into spells. Oh yeah, Technomancer battle.
Dance Dance Revolution.
This could be worse than Dance Dance Revolution.
I have faith in your powers, my dear.
All right.
Let us just
So
hope that Sean starts out with some 1s. Sorry.
I
Go.
need you to roll a reflex save versus a DC of 23. And I'll make one for loyalty as well. Okay, well, neither one of you pass. He takes half damage anyway, though, because it's operative. Let's see. And this is a spell you recognize here. He casts a spell, and electricity shoots out of his hands and flies directly and hits you square in the chest. Loyalty manages to roll with a little bit. You take 35 points of damage. He takes 14. Um, all right. His goons haven't opened fire. Like they're all around you with their guns trained on you, but they haven't fired their weapons yet. He has apparently has them, and he just hasn't given them any order, obviously. Loyalty is the next to act. Let's see. And I think he's going to operate his cloaking field. Oh no. Um, Actually, I know exactly what he does. He, he said, he, kind of, he doesn't even really turn around Shaba. He's just like, Alarms up. That means he's alarms up spells off Xander's in danger. Gotta go. There's like a bit of a twitch. It's like, gotta get Xander out of here. And he phases through the floor. He just whoosh, whoop, and phases through the floor. Um,
Well, now this changes everything.
yeah, and from what you've seen, you're not entirely certain if he had much of a choice in that decision, especially with the way his voice hitched on that. Um, it could be interpreted as he, was realized the odds were too stacked and decided to bolt. But if you didn't know anything or hadn't observed anything or been briefed on anything, I don't know, Xander, did you tell? I think you guys did say something about loyalty having to be, um,
Yeah, protecting
yeah,
Xander.
yeah. So
Yeah, we told him,
yeah, so
and once we got the one thing, then he could shoot me in the head. But now he's running away, so he can't shoot me in the head now. Haha.
well, he's not. Well, he's not running away from you. He's effectively
He's going to you.
yeah, he's like that deep programming or whatever that was unlocked, that Chunder Bucket Charlie unlocked in him. That thing, like, he has to, like, his priority is you at this point. Um,
Yeah, I know.
instead of Shaba, whether he necessarily wants it to be or not. Um, so that's what he does. Shabo, what is your act?
That's still an even fight. That's going to be interesting. What do I want to do?
Let's see.
How far away is the farthest of this guy's goons? Roughly.
Well, you're in a hallway, so um, most of them they're all pretty much within, say 60 feet ish.
Okay. Then, yeah, this is what I'll do.
All right. Mm, unique. All right. So I need you to roll a caster level for that spell. All right. And they've got a reflex saving throw. Let's see. That means I need. It's going to. I'm gonna roll here. I'm gonna roll something randomly here. First of all, I need to. Uh,
It's hard to believe.
let's see. Mm, around just over 30% of his of the guards go down dead. Um, as for Flep himself, mm, all right, yeah. He's got to make it. He's got to roll his saving throw first. And what's the DC on your spell here?
25.
Well, he didn't make it, but that's okay. That puts him. Whoops. Yeah, he's he's like, ha, not bad. Yeah, fucking. I think he's going to. Let's see. He's got some higher level spell stuff too. Let's see. What's he got? I gotta go back to spells here. Oops, that's too far. Too far. Let's see. What's he gonna try to use here? Technomancer. He's got. Shit, he's got. Hmm. That wouldn't be useful to him right now. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh. Now that's worthwhile. Let's see. Do-do-do. Where is it? It's not there, not there. Okay. You can see it seems melee. Let's see. No, that's hmm. So third level, that would be a EC 23. Give me a give me a will save DC of 23. Nice. Yeah, he fires off a spell. You feel the magical energy start to build up around you, and you're able to shake it off. Let's see. It's on you.
How close is he?
I'd say he's probably kept himself a good 50 feet off.
So I kick in the haste circuits within my armor and close that gap.
All right.
Allows me to go 60. And then I do this to him.
Stuff.
Does a 27 hit his EAC?
27 his EAC. No, it does not.
Son of a bitch.
What?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at too. Um, let's see. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I see you have it already built into the spell.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, yeah. I yeah, I think he'll probably answer with he'll probably answer with like he sees you like pull like your fist glowing with magical power as you attempt to smack him, or I don't know if you've got it balled in a fist or a chop, like a chop or whatever you were doing. Um,
Just trying to touch him.
yeah. Uh, I think for him, it's a like he probably goes for. Yeah, he'll probably do the. He'll probably go with the like a chop, magical energy going around his hand. Does a 30 hit your EAC?
No, it does not.
Ah, so yeah, you kind of like back and forth on this. Um, it's on you.
One more time.
That
Ow!
is that is a hit.
That's a
Um,
critical. I think. Is it? Yes, it
yeah,
is.
so that's 24. Let's see. And let's see.
You want me to
a-
roll that critical damage as well?
And he's staggered. All right. Yeah, go ahead. All right.
139 total.
139 total. Okay. Well, that leaves him. Yep. Yeah, he's like, not bad at all. Well, actually, he's staggered at the. Oh, it's a fortitude save for partial. Okay. And what's the DC on the fortitude save?
It's a
25.
fortitude save to resist the stagger. He still
25.
takes full damage.
Right. All right. Yeah, he's staggered. The this is about the time while the goons, seeing him be staggered, start shooting at you. So that is going to be several attacks. Let's see, where's. Alright. Let's see, where is that stats? Let's see. Mercenary commandos, that's plus 20. Okay, so. Alright, and that's. And what's your EAC and your KAC?
EAC is 32, KAC is 33.
Okay. All right. One, two, three, 5. Ooh. Yeah, that last one's a crit. All right.
I just wasn't going on that.
All right. Now I need to find their weapon damage. They have. Okay. So, and what'd you say your ACs were again?
EAC is 32, KAC is 33.
Okay.
Um,
I thought.
Shaba, are you getting your ass kicked?
This is not Ryan. Ryan has hit points.
Wow. I feel like I should cheer for these guys because they're doing the impossible. They're actually hindering one of Brian's characters.
Oh, going to be interesting. I'm still not in hit points yet. So
Okay, right on, right on.
Oh, there it is. I'm looking for. That's long arms. Let's see where we at here. Where is it? That's. There we are. There's that. And so it's top here, maybe. Yep. All right. So first one is. Oh god damn it! What is it here? Okay, so the first one is going to be. You realize now why they didn't. Part of the reason why they didn't attack on the first round. They are firing infinity laser rifles at you. The first one does 15 points of damage. The second one, or wait, 25. Sorry. I forgot about their damage bonus.
So 25 instead of 15.
Yeah, 25 on the first one. The second one does 23. The third one misses. The fourth one is. Oops, I need to type it in right. That'd be great. And then 36 points of damage from the fourth one. Did I get. I only rolled for 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. That was the one for the nat 20. I knew I was missing one. It's like I thought I rolled for 5 guards. And then 24 more, because I forgot to put the plus 10 on there.
Not bad. 108 points.
Yeah. So like the first team of them shoots at you, like firing firing weapons and what have you. You have a moment here to decide what you're going to do. Because those 5 aren't the only ones that are in the hallway. They're just the first ones to fire. effectively they held their actions. There's probably another there's probably another uh, there's probably another 10 guys in the direction they came from, and probably another 15 to 20 in the opposite on the other coming from the other side of the hallway.
So basically, what you're saying, I'm between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. If you have a spell that you think might be useful here. Essentially, you realize that your position where you're at now, you could probably handle fighting these guys for a little bit, but eventually they're going to just overwhelm you. They have more of them than you, and they're kind of like you're going to have to figure a way to escape from this hallway, or go down fighting, or surrender, or something.
Roughly, how far do I think it is to get to the outside wall? Like on
Um,
the other side?
didn't we say it was like? Didn't
Yeah,
we
but
say
I've
it was
also
like
gone pretty deep too.
80 to 100 feet, like 150 feet or something like that
Yeah, that was from outs the one
from the
side of the
outside wall?
wall to the door. So I've gone down, you said about 4 or 5 levels.
Oh, you're talking about inside of the built from where
From where
you're
I am now to outside
to
the wall. The
outside of the
outside
wall.
the outside wall.
Uh, so if you're about 4 levels down, you figure that you're 150 feet out from the wall. Then you figure the ceilings for this place, the ceilings on each level, you're going to be at least, I'd say, 8 to 10 feet. So that adds another, what, 40 feet worth. So you're around 190 between the deep and the distance of the building from the wall. Probably tack in another, like 30 feet, because you're kind of farther back in the sort of like underground part of this. So we're going to say about 210, 220 feet, maybe, give or take. You still there?
Oh yeah, I know, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna let Chance deal with this.
You know what?
Gonna let Chance deal with this.
Okay.
Gonna roll D2. If I roll 1, I'm leaving. If I roll 2, I'm standing and fighting.
I love how we've all picked up that gunner thing of just, oh, I'm gonna flip a coin
Yeah,
for
basically.
major character decision. It's great. It's great.
I
We're
was
all
just
Anton
about to say
Chigurh.
this. Yes, it's wonderful. Do it.
Yeah, but how many of you guys do
I'm
that in
running
real
away.
life? Because I do.
I do
So
too.
I
I
got
do
my turn to do.
sometimes.
I do as well.
So what?
I have my turn, right?
You have. I'll give you the chance to take one action if you've got a pretty good answer here.
It's
Dimension
over
door.
1,000 feet long. That's going to get me outside the wall, and I start booking it.
That's a pretty
All
good
right.
answer.
You get outside of the wall, and when you get yourself teleported outside of the wall, but as you get outside, once you get outside the wall, um, give me a perception check using mysticism. Okay, so there are a couple things you are looking at here. First of all, you see it's sort of like partially into the magical spectrum right now because of where you're at. And you can see the sheen of magical, like of the magical barrier that's come up over the compound. It's not like tight to the walls necessarily. There's a little bit of bubble space. There is like you are currently standing in an area between the wall and the magical shielding. You also note that don't see you don't see a Xander around anywhere.
which I expected. Like, I don't
Um,
expect him to hang around when the alarms go off.
yeah. And I need to bear something here. How often can he do that phase shift? He can only do that once per day. But he can use his cloaking field. So I'm just gonna say, let's give him a stealth check. And then he's got the bonus from the cloaking field, yeah. You're there for a brief, you're there for like, uh, you looking around, like you don't see anybody out here. But I think loyalty dash zero, like you're looking at maybe the section of the wall near where you think you left Xander at. Um, and you don't see anything, and then you see like this shimmering as
Okay,
loyalty
so
brings down its
I
cloaking
have,
field.
I have a question. Would you try to radio Xander? Because Xander knows about it, but Shaba doesn't.
Well, remember your communications are disrupted.
Xander knows that, but
Yeah,
does Shaba?
that's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. Would Shaba try to radio Xander and not know that? But he doesn't know that.
Yeah,
She
no,
doesn't know
she
that.
will. Once she's outside, she'll try.
Okay, yeah, you you try to radio, and whatever is going on with that magical barrier, it seems to be interfering with communications as well.
Son of
You're not sure what that magical barrier that magical barrier does specifically. You're pretty sure it'll block spells like arcane, anything arcane. So you're not going to be able to like teleport past it or anything. But you're not sure if it will stop physically. It's obviously messing with the communications, but that's energy. You're not sure if it'll stop matter or not. Um,
Well, if I don't see loyalty anywhere,
well, that's what I'm saying. Loyalty, like you're you look over and they're like maybe you make that call and it doesn't work and you look over where where you think you left Xander and you're looking there for a minute and like there's a shimmering as loyalty drops his cloaking field and you see loyalty standing there looking he kind of looking over his shoulder at you. He kind of looks annoyed. um,
yeah, well, I'm hurting pretty bad.
and he's like you you find what you were looking for in there? Because I'm not finding Xander out here.
Nope. I took out maybe a quarter of those guys out before I basically had to leave. I heard that Inquisitor something, but he's still alive.
And he goes, yeah, he goes, uh, he's like, yeah, priority had to be Xander at that point. Kent still is. He's a kind of, and he kind of looks at you and he's like, now what?
Let's find our Xander
All right.
and try to rethink this.
All right. And maybe we cut away and we cut back to the stellar flare. And you guys have you guys have are kind of like there's I want to cut back in on Vesa and um Zai. Um and
Hello.
we don't have yeah, so maybe like Vesa and Zai, we cut back in on you, and you're in a meeting with Qualu. Twinkle's obviously singing to something else. Qualu is probably he's
Diarrhea.
yeah.
Hmm.
Qualu is like, so as the head of security, I figured that I would probably give you a bit of a well, I've been keeping the Nihir protocols current as best of my ability, just in case. And Vesa, you'd know about what the Tovo Jafin, Nahir's protocols are. So basically, Nahir kept records on the most efficient way to defeat any member of the crew should, they be, it become necessary. It's rumored that he even had like files on how to take down Zai if it became necessary.
Mhm.
But Qualo's like,
It's true.
he's like, being that we have seen multiple dimensions and various iterations of ourselves, not to mention the clones and replicants we encountered with that you have encountered, like he motions to Zai. He's like, I felt it was best that I go back over the updated protocols on the various, in case. We understand that a number of our alternate counterparts adopt different manners of fighting and different skills, but there are some that have very similar methodology of fighting and skills. Some of our versions are more dangerous than the versions that we've seen here, some less so. There is a list within the protocols of the subvariants we found. The he says, by and large, the best way, he's like, you will note that by and way, the best way to deal with many of our crew members would be in here as a precautionary in case we run across. It works just as well in case we run across a alternate version as if one is possessed. And I'm not certain, but given the intelligence we have gathered between all of the intelligence that Nurk's collected, the intelligence I have collected, etc., it would seem to me that the Dominion of the Black has the ability to possess people as well. I believe this is quite possibly the case with your father, Captain Vesa, though the nature of that possession could be symbiotic or parasitic. Who knows? He says I don't know enough about the way that the entities of the Dominion of the Black work. There is a work on the Heishi Shah that Ashira fought in the Queen Dimension. He says uh, he's like and he jets you over like the files for the protocols. So
Mhm.
you both now have like protocols on how to take down the most efficient methods to take down various members of your crew. It's a generalized thing. It's not specified for each of you. And pretty much notes that he's like, bear in mind these are generalized protocols, and assume that you will have access to at least some of your crew members to fill in the gaps of your own weaknesses, as we all do. And he's
Mhm.
and like um there is very like Vesa. There's a special notation for you about Nurks. Basically, that um, if you ever had to fight her or a variation of her that fights the same way she does, the best thing to do is to get her in an enclosed space because her movement capabilities far outclass anyone else's. Like he's
Mhm.
like at the top, he's like some I would like he outright is like this is one of the few targets I would recommend never engaging at the range. Only a surprise attack in enclosed spaces is going to have a likely chance of success. Um,
Cool.
uh,
Well,
yeah,
hope they don't have to fight anybody like her.
yeah, he pretty much, but he says, I made sure that that one was on top. He says, I made sure that that one was on top of it. Like, there's a note at the bottom, like that it was like that's like I put this one on on the top because um because I figured you might find it important. You
Got
get
it.
the you get the subtext that he's well aware of the like tensions that the two of you have always had, and like he's like, yeah, Nurx is unpredictable and really prone to um and prone to reckless violence. So
Yeah.
he would put that in there because he's like, I don't know.
Base is starting to do the same thing, so that's a fun
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Neat. Thanks.
um,
Do we intend on killing all of our crew, or is this just like a general? If we meet up with people that are like us, where we're at.
well, it is meant for to be protocols in case one of us becomes possessed, corrupted, betrays the rest of the crew, or if it can work equally as well as a starting point if we happen to run across alternate versions of our friends and ourselves that may that fight in a similar fashion to those of us from our own universe.
Okay.
Besa,
Yeah.
you watch me watch myself on a constant basis. It's not because I'm a narcissist. It's actually because I'm trying to become better at what I do. And you've seen the people that I pick to be around me, so it's always nice to know how to take out something you love and or have grown to hate. And then I
Yeah,
flip
that's
through
like
the list to your protocol and I'm like, check it out. It says go for a hug. It doesn't actually say that.
oh, like do you want to hug? Do you want to hug right now? Is that what you're asking? Like we can
No,
hug.
but
Well, that
you can scratch behind my ears if it makes you feel better. I won't freak out.
I don't know who
Michael's not here
needs
for that to be
love,
nearly as
you
funny.
or
Just give me a
me.
high five. We'll start
I
with
will
that. High
high
five.
five. I will
Okay.
high five.
But yes, I mean, I'm in here too. Flip, flip, flip. And when I get to my page, I take it out and I wad it into a ball and then set it on fire.
Well, that's great.
You-
I want to
at the
do the
top
same thing with mine.
Okay.
at the top of your file, it's let him pick the fight.
Mm,
Don't pick a fight with Zai. Let him pick the fight with you. Your odds are better.
mm. Uh, n-
Um,
Make him get naked. That works.
He
what
does
does?
recommend engaging you from a distance because he
Mm.
knows most of your abilities are that you use require like he's figured out minimum distances for like your AoE stuff. He's like, yeah, he has the ability
There's
to
a
utilize
reason we have
radiation,
training.
so stay the fuck out of this area.
There's a
If
reason we
he
do
That's
training missions.
fair.
It's so
yeah,
I can gather information.
when he decides to be a firebomb on himself, that you want to be this far back, that sort of thing. Yeah, like a lot of his stuff, um, uh,
Are we right now in space? Are we
yeah.
like
Yeah,
still
we're
in
still in our
drift?
or your ship.
Well,
Yeah, well, technically, yeah.
you
Because
are
if they're
traveling.
still, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
You are traveling. You are on your way to the moon with the detention center.
Okay,
And
so we
I'd say
haven't
you've
made it
got
there
maybe
yet.
well, I'd say at this point you've got maybe a few hours left on the clock
Oh,
before you
good.
get there. It's part of the reason why like he's bringing this up, and he's like, "Now, as far as we're our unique situation here, uh, I would assume." And he says, according to what my interviews with Melp, and not all of, and from what we've seen from Melp himself, not all of these curve cabals take up the profession of mechanic. Many of them take uh, very varied professions. The one thing, so I went more to the personality of the person we think they are trying to emulate. If the Mad Tinker is anything like the Slef we knew, then we can count on certain personality traits: impulsiveness, recklessness, and a fondness for overly large explosions. He's like, there, he says, so I would imagine that there are a few casters that with large, big explosive spells, probably more than a few explosive trained operatives, grenade wielding soldiers. I would imagine that our best bet, if we are to engage them as a force in any way, shape, or form, we do not cluster up in our attacks. We make sure that we have some spacing and distance so as not to get caught up by grenades and explosive blasts of any kind.
And radiation rings around Zai, things like that.
Already, I'm less worried about running into a alternate version of you in the Tinkerverse than I am in other places.
That's true, sir. But
I've
so we're going in loud, we're going in proud, and then
I
we'll
don't.
talk
I don't
about
want
it.
to go in. Did we agree to go in loud and proud?
No, no, we're still doing diplomacy first. We're just going to be
Right.
loud. We're not
Loud
going to be like, yeah, we're like, hey, we're
diplomat.
coming.
right.
Yeah, I
Um,
can give you at least a dozen examples, and if I can, I bet Michael can.
Oh, I got this. Okay.
What am I exampling about?
Loud
Loud.
diplomats.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of loud diplomats on this channel.
See?
so
Anyway,
yeah,
but once we get there, yeah, we're gonna. There's a song. You heard part of it earlier.
yeah.
Okay.
I think
I
as
will
you
remind you, I said I am a clown on my own terms,
Oh,
Chris.
It's
well, in
true.
that case, it may or may not play.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
there is
But
go
he
ahead.
did say he'd do it. I even said please.
But, but before we, I don't know. We're probably gonna die. So maybe for like Twinkle's sake, should go talk to Wasaki and have like that real life meeting before we're dead. I mean, it feels pointless because we're all gonna die anyway. But you know,
By,
I just
by the way, you do have the recording from that first night with your sleep, your dream bot, your sleep dream bot.
eh,
Have you been turning it to protect mode since, or have you been simply recording all of your nightmares and bad sleeping?
has it been the same nightmare?
Variations on a theme. Like they're
I
like it's gotten somewhat more abstract as it goes along, but it always starts with the very visceral elements of like being trapped in that hall with all that fire and people dying, and when you fought the Queen of Infernos, and with the
well,
trauma of where the Queen of Venom took your arm. Like
go.
those sort of like there's the trauma from some of the violence you have experienced traveling dimensions is where it starts from. Like um,
Hmm.
you know, there's and then it gets more abstract, and then it becomes a bit more abstract and terrifying, extrapolating from those points.
Okay. So after I realize it's all kind of the same shit, then I will have turned it to protect mode and try to get some sleep. So
Okay.
maybe I feel a little better.
So yeah, would you maybe like put it to use the record button like for a couple nights, or for a couple nights, and like, okay, now I know it's, you know, I have an
Right.
idea here. All right,
Yes.
cool. And you can transfer those, like the data from your dreams, onto a drive so where you can play it back.
Yeah, I will have done that at some point because I need to share these with somebody. I don't want to share them with everybody,
Right,
but
right.
um, I don't know. Let's conclude this meeting and then I would like to meet up with Wasaki, like
All
for
right.
real.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, is this just like a security briefing? Like this is what we're gonna
Yeah,
find
it's
out and this is where we're going.
yeah, well, it's basically a security briefing in the sense that he was giving you the updated protocols, and he was kind of advising that, as a general rule, if these people all base themselves off the Mad Tinker, which is another
Mhm.
version of Sluff, then you can expect, that this is the kind of mode of operation that he at least expects that you're going to have to prepare for,
Got it.
kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, so you have a
Um,
whole bunch of crunchy new files.
right. So I'm gonna like flip through them with my thumb and be like, I love the opportunity to find new and interesting ways to kill the people we know and love. Thank you so much for this. This is great. Sai, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. I hopefully won't have a use for this. Is there a thing on Sluff in here too?
Yeah, there's a thing
Yeah.
on Sluff. It read as it's marked as if it had been at one point decommissioned and then recommissioned, essentially. Like it was
Mhm.
it, it's tagged like it was going to be thrown in the garbage folder at some point, and then untagged, just sort of metadata or whatever.
Got
But
it.
there is a, like, and the Nahir protocols, the Tovo Jafin protocols for Sluff are the ones written by Nahir himself,
Okay.
because they both died at the fucking same battle.
I
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
do have a question.
yeah.
I know that none of my characters would know this, but what was Nahir's plan to deal with Sluff? I mean, I know that there's a lot of ways he could have done it. I'm just interested to see how he would have done it.
Nahir's plans for dealing with Sluff. He had a number of ways to deal with it. Most of them, however, involved getting in really close, like fighting at a close range, because he knew that Sluff was absolute shit in combat outside of throwing grenades around. Like his file would have been like Sluff is dangerous, less because he intends to be, but more because there tends to be lots of explosions around him, and he doesn't always have any control over where they're going.
You know, that's what we call letting the explosion figure it out for us.
Exactly. But yeah, he notes that Slev is just as much, if not more so, a danger to his own allies than he is, by any dint of actual purpose. Out Bucket first, probably, but he also notes that that likely wouldn't, take a great deal of effort, um, as far as he
You
was
know,
concerned, anyway.
I agree with the entirety of that portfolio.
Yeah, yeah. Well, uh, Slef, when he was here, was kind of the weakest member in combat. He threw a lot of grenades around. He did some damage here and there, but he didn't.
The
He
thing
didn't.
is, you couldn't
Yeah,
really catch Slef by surprise. That was the only difficult thing with Slef, is he almost
right,
always had some sort of failsafe on him.
right.
Yeah.
Nahir pretty much was like, yeah, just you got to get in there, get in swift, and put a fucking knife in his gut. Like,
Mm, mm, mm.
So it's Nurk's protocols is what that is. Just
well,
fast and loose, quick and dirty. Get it done. Do it.
If your friend's specialty is long distance, don't let them use their specialty against you.
Right.
Got it.
I
I
feel like
mean,
Got it.
Nurx is probably relies on a little bit of hindrance of movement as well,
Yeah.
like
Well,
ways to
that's
sap her movement and her ability
yeah.
so you can either outrange her or get in close, but probably
Yeah.
get in
Right.
close. Even
Yeah.
though
It's
she's
Yeah.
deadly on both fronts.
yeah. She's dangerous
Yeah.
on both fronts, but like Qualu's updated is like if you ever have to fight Nurx or an alternate version that fights like her, you need to restrict her maneuverability, and you have to have her on grounds where she can't maneuver, because otherwise you'll never catch her and you'll never be able to hit her. Like she's just too damn fast.
Yeah.
Like he would
Well,
suggest finding ways to try to spring a trap to immobilize her as fast as possible. Uh,
like honestly, I'd use a Shira as bait.
so
that's what you
yeah.
do. That's the thing. Shira, congratulations, you're officially bait.
Hmm.
Great.
It's
You're
sexy bait,
officially
but you're bait.
Daphne.
I'm not sure how that's supposed to work necessarily,
It'll be fine. We'll figure it
She'd
out.
come try to rescue her.
but
Maybe.
yeah, yeah, essentially yeah, there are protocols on pretty much, what, and they're pretty much based on what Qualu might have been able to observe from you, or get from security footage or security from, respective ships and what have you. Um, the There is a side note on Oliver's that he did some background checking into Oliver's past, and he's like, best way to defeat Oliver Byrne is with a river. Don't ever bring a knife to a bear fight. Are two of the notes that he's got on there.
True. True.
See, yet another reason to go to the diaspora.
um, yeah. Uh,
Um, so I have to start wandering downstairs away from this
okay.
area here shortly. So
Sure.
I think I gotta go talk to Wazaki,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pause myself.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
so
Wisaki, where would Vesa find you?
Oh, I'm in the med bay with Dr. Oliver Byrne. We're probably working on something together.
Right.
Byrne and I have a very profitable, well, not profitable, very, very educational relationship, yeah?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah. You're a doctor, I'm a mystic. We're both exceptionally good at our field, so yeah. I don't know, what the fuck are we working on, you think?
I mean, it's possible that this could be the time that we are actually already talking about Vesa,
Well,
because that
and
makes
bear in,
sense.
and bear in
hello.
mind, yeah, and bear in mind, Oliver, you now also have a new
Well, hold on, Sean.
sorry.
Barren body, scientist in mind.
Ha ha, very funny. Keep in mind that you also, because you have access to the Stellar Flares medical database, you have access to all the poisons and diseases that and her crew came across traveling dimensions. So there's a whole lot of information in there to parse as well. So
Oh, I'm multitasking then. I'm like sitting there, I'm
yeah,
like on my wrist, or my medical station on my wrist. I'm like studying all this stuff while I'm also just discussing with Yaki. How do you say your name again? Is it with Yaki?
Wathaki.
Withaki. I don't know where the Y is coming from. Withaki. Well, I'm also discussing with Withaki, Vesa, because she had come to me for drugs to help her feel better,
yeah.
and I'm probably just
Yeah.
Oh,
Probably
so
be like,
yeah.
well, if you're gonna prescribe her drugs, don't zonk her out too hard. Or maybe it'd be better if you zonked her out too hard. I don't know.
Do you think an intensive, violent um, episode in the, what do we call the hollow bit? The
Hmm.
heck would help alleviate some of her symptoms?
If you're saying she should go and shoot some shit, maybe. Sometimes that helps people. Not us, but, well, I actually, yeah, Sam Hain, but we don't talk about that.
He reaches over to like one of the mini vials like cooking on his lab station nearby, and he's just like, because I've been working on a new to elixir of sorts to, well, help with releasing aggression by increasing aggression.
Wait, okay, so are you trying to relieve or increase aggression?
Well, if we transform a person into a larger and more aggressive beast and let them go, what is the phrase? To town? To
I,
town
I,
on something that could help them release all the pent up stress and anger that's inside them.
And I think
I,
basically this is
I
where
don't
you walk
think.
in.
Well, hold on. Right as she walks in, you hear Withaki go, I don't think that counts as therapy. Oh, hey, Vesa.
Hi. Hi. Did you? Maybe I didn't hear that right. That's fine. Listen, Twinkle told me I needed to come and talk to you with Aki because I'm going through some shit. Also, Super been having nightmares. They're here, and I'm gonna just like hold out a drive and like hand it to you and go, watch at your leisure. And then I'm gonna go, oh hello, Dr. Bear? No. What's your last name?
Oliver.
Burn.
Burn. Okay. Hello, Dr. Burn. It's very nice to see you again. Glad that you survived. That's very cool. By the way, I need some more drugs with Aki. Would you like to talk?
Wow. Withaki's probably going to look and go, Vesa, it's really clear to me that you're having a manic episode right now, so I need you to step back, take a deep breath. Okay.
Okay.
I'm like side eyeing with Aki holding the bottle, like swirling it and just giving like a huh.
Like,
With
I hear you as I'm reaching for the bottle. I hear the
No,
manic
no,
episode. No.
no,
no, not holding out to you. I'm
no.
just like holding it in my hand and I'm looking at him like,
Okay.
No, I definitely shake my head no and go, Vesa, okay. Let's see, there's, okay. Two of the four individuals in this room are licensed medical professionals. Well, actually, I didn't go to college. One of the four professionals in here are licensed medical professionals.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck is going on?
Oh. Yeah,
Well, in my research, she's having a chemical imbalance in her brain that is causing outbursts of both aggression and happiness, or
Well,
manic
hold on.
episodes, as you might say.
Hold on. Let the woman speak for herself.
I thought you were asking the professional. Straightens his lab coat.
Somebody's bear splaining.
So Face is gonna look at you, Dr. Byrne, and be like, I mean, maybe that's what it is. I think a lot of it is I had to try and kill myself, and then myself ripped off my arm, and that still hurts in like a weird way. Also been having incredible nightmares about all the ways that I've been nearly killed, and sometimes I wonder if it was just better if it was over. But I mean, it's fine because it's over now, and now I just have to like get over this hump of constant stress and anger, and like I don't feel like murdering anybody right now, so I mean, it's getting better. It's fine. It's fine.
Don't feel like murdering anybody right now.
Yeah.
At this
I get
point,
good things.
Withaki is going to kind of motion towards a seat, be like, Vesa, do you want to sit down?
I don't know. Maybe. Do you have snacks? You know what? It's okay. I brought snacks. And she's going to pull a fucking protein bar out of her pocket and sit down and start snacking. This is great. What's up?
Withaki is gonna just like look at Burn and then look at Vesa, and he's gonna actually land on the like counter, right? He's probably gonna go, I get that you're like masking your frustrations and your anxiety under a sheen of humor and positivity. It's incredibly transparent, and I mean there's a lot I can say, But the first thing that you need to understand is that I don't give a fuck what your responsibilities are on this ship. It is okay to be not okay, and you are very, very obviously not well.
You're right. Yes, you're right. But I have
Hmm.
a job to do. So I can't be not well right now.
No,
I have to
okay.
be as well as possible.
Vesa.
Because we're probably gonna die anyway, so what's the fucking
No.
point?
Vesa. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you lose your mind and you try and, lead people and your mind is lost, you're liable to get more people killed. And not just whatever you considered those things in the hold, people you care about. People like me and Oliver, and even people like Zai, people like Lee.
Yeah, probably.
He's
I wouldn't.
like, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He's like, even if we're about to die, you know, there's considerations to be made. Because I've read your old files, especially before you joined up with these people, and especially before you went off into other dimensions and getting yourself almost killed. You're not a bad person. Like, you may have done some bad things, but you're not a bad person. You know that, right?
That is subjective. I think there are days where I feel good, and then there are days where I think that if I can be so completely malicious in a different universe, like just the worst of the worst, I hate myself, even though that might not be me. I hate her, which makes me feel like I hate me. And I don't know how to cope with that.
He goes, so first, I'm a witch warper, so I kind of know this whole transdimensional dissociation. That's kind of the name for it. It's a common enough phenomena that it has a name. Like, you're dissociating because of lack of perceived implications within various timelines and realities, and that's understandable. But there's more to it than that. It's obvious you've got some plain old trauma, because you've almost died and you faced quite literally the most open personification of the worst you can be, and you lost. I get it.
I sort of lost. Sort of. Mostly. Not completely. I think a complete loss would just be death. And then we wouldn't have had these conversations. So then
Well,
maybe all those people would still be alive. I don't know.
in your book, that would have been a win, right? If you had died, you want to die anyway. You want to be dead right now. You're telling me that you're having deep.
I think I just don't want to be me anymore. I want to be someone different. I want to be someone light. I want to be old Vesa. Old Vesa that didn't have any problems and never got blown up and still had both her arms. And, didn't have all of this bullshit running around her head or the night terrors or had to actually face these situations, which I know just makes you stronger, but I don't feel strong. Now I just feel weaker. But I want to be light again, and I'm not. I'm heavy, and I don't like it. I'd like to be light.
I think Oliver will put up like a paw and kind of, like a single claw, like putting up a finger. He's like, in this case, it seems more like the Queen of Venom is most truly like a venom. She is currently in your system, causing pain and distress. And unfortunately, you're going to have to work through that and get until the venom works its course. And once it's gone, you can return back to the self you were, with some minor scarring, but at that point, we just have to help you get the venom out.
Fair. That feels
Wathaki's,
right. The bitch.
Wathaki's going to be like, You know how this crew picked me up, right? Like what was happening beforehand?
No, tell me. I don't remember.
So
Like I
there's
just clear don't
this.
remember.
Yeah, I'll just explain it in character because you probably wouldn't be told. You know, a lot of these
Mhm.
details were probably just like verbally passed and not. A lot of the details would be unnecessary to log, right? Be like, I was being held captive by this group called Corth de Lilcutra because yours truly, both of us, well, one of us, pizza. There we go. That's the easy way to explain it. Is a form of fungus. It's a myconoid style reproduction, gestalt consciousness, whatever. I don't really ask a lot of questions about my core self on that level. Not very helpful. But I was being held captive by these guys who are just kind of obsessed with fungus and rot and all that. And well, I found a ride on a scorpion fly and kind of like gestures towards himself. But on my way out, I opened up a room, and in that room, they had a couple other prisoners that I had seen, you know, serve and support the little Cutcher, all that. Well, they had taken one of these other prisoners, and they had, to put it nicely, turned him into an organic machine of some sort. He was alive, and
Mhm.
he was suffering, and I didn't put him out of his misery, even though that was probably the right move.
Mhm.
Before I met Cortilo Cutra, I have bounced around place to place to place to place, constantly not finding a home. The world that you inhabit of trauma is not one that's unique, but it's also not one that means that you have to live in it. I It's not that I don't think about it, but I don't blame myself, right?
Mhm.
None of what happened to me was my fault. And just because I'm not the same pizza, the same Wathaki that I was beforehand, doesn't mean that that Wathaki is any worse. It's different. And I think that it's probably a good idea for you to look at it like that. You've been through the ringer, and you've
Mhm.
experienced some truly awful, terrible things. But at the end of the day, fuck the talk that it makes you stronger. It makes you
Yeah.
wiser, and it can make you better. Just better able to treat other people with compassion.
Yeah. It just hurts a whole lot right now.
Yeah,
But it
and
won't
with
hurt like that
Thaki,
forever.
yeah, definitely like nods and is like, no, it's never gonna stop hurting, but and it's not even that the pain fades, it's that it's something that you begin to understand. And I think that understanding it's more important than trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. Can I still have the drugs from the bear?
Wathaki looks over and goes, well, it's the doctor's specialty. Don't put her on anything that you wouldn't put me on. Remember, I get real weird on most drugs.
I'll be good too.
Uh,
Nice. So let's go over to the mess hall. Lee and Ashira, you are both there.
okay.
Um, Lee, at this point, um, do you have crew members that have like some of like the rumors of the Stellar Flyers exploits in the various dimensions have reached around to some of the other crew members who weren't there for it, and you are currently kind of like the table you're sitting at, and I don't know if if you're sitting with Lee or not. If you aren't, you'd see this occurring from wherever you're at. If you are, then you're seeing it up close and personal. But Lee, you've got a number of like these, newer crew members and crew members from that, transferred from other ships and whatnot that are like kind of gathered around you because they're trying to get you to tell some stories about fighting some of your battles like in the other dimensions and whatnot. I think um, uh, quite possibly like Hafis, who's probably the only like named one there, is like, tell us about tell us about the time that you fought a version of me. It, it was very interesting in that. He was like, the
Hafis is the noir, right?
yep,
Hmm.
Oh
he's
yeah.
a newer. Yeah, and there's a he seems very interested in that particular fight. Um, you'll also have somebody else that requests, oh, I want to hear about the fight with the Dominion of the Black Monster. What were they called? The Heishi Shah? You know. Um,
Oh yeah, the Heishisha were a pain. They were hard to fight. I had to like run away and climb up on a big rock to keep it from beating the hell out of me and Ashira. Fortunately, she was able to do some magic and hurt them too until they were able to at least get close enough for me to hit them.
like magic. Like, well, like
Magic.
what kind of magic was she using? Like they're
Uh,
they're
He looks to Ashira.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you look at Ashira, and Ashira, all of these people turn and look at you. First of all, are you sitting
Jesus.
at the same table or are you sitting at a different table?
I'm just gonna say I'm at the same table. I can't think of a
Yeah.
reason I wouldn't be.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You just, well, like, yeah, everybody kind of turns and looks at you like, yeah, what kind of spells did you use? You know,
I don't actually remember.
Make something up.
I don't know.
your counterpart was the Queen of
Oh
Storms.
my
You were
god.
using you were using your
Arcing
arcing surge
Surge
blast. Yeah,
and Caustic Conversion?
conversion. Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at you
those two.
remembering stuff.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah. And she's like, do you, so
I
you,
love those two spells though, for real.
they're like,
For real.
like, they're maybe one of them is like, is like, they all kind of like, how do you say this? You say this sort of matter of factly, do you say it annoyed, or do you play into the story with Lee, or, how do you like approach this?
Oh boy.
Like, what's your
Mhm.
general attitude?
Attitude.
Can I can I No, I wouldn't need a sense motive check, would I?
No, well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, these are your, like, ostensibly your like crew members. They're just for the most part, except for Hafis, minor crew, and Lee, minor crew members.
Um, You know what? I'm gonna sip my coffee. Sip my coffee. That was supposed to be sip my coffee, and that did not come out like that.
No.
Words are hard.
Words are hard.
That was really hard to say. So actually, not sip. Fuck that. I'm probably gonna down my coffee, and then I don't. I kind of want to observe for right now.
So
Where's
do
my
you?
notepad?
Yeah. So
Huh.
you just not respond at all. Just let them look at you for a second and just
So
mysterious.
he wants to know what music. Oh, I didn't tell him that. We just talked about. That's what it was.
Uh,
I don't know why I thought I told him that when we were talking about it. Okay, so I don't know if I should tell them that.
yeah, that's perfectly fine. You can just drink your coffee and just
You could just leave me hanging.
yeah,
I'm,
you
oh
could
my god,
totally
no.
do that. You could
That's
totally just be.
completely an Ashira thing to do.
I'm
You could
sorry, Lee.
totally
That's a
do.
not me problem.
Yeah, yeah. If that's what you want to do,
No,
you can do
I'm not gonna do that to him because next time I need him, he'll fucking kick me out and be like, "Take her,"
that.
and I'll die a
Mm.
miserable death with
Yeah.
no dignity. Okay. God, I'm trying to think of. Because it just feels dumb to just be like, oh yeah, I use these spells, like just automatic. Like I don't know this motherfucker, do I?
Well, these are just you probably don't know them personally. You might know some of their names and stuff, but these are like minor like engineers and science crew people and basic minor like security people. Like they work in various different departments.
Okay,
This
so
is
And
I'm
a
gonna.
right now they're
big
acting
ship,
like fans.
so yeah, they kind of are.
You know what? I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna down my coffee because I'm the psycho, and not even worry about the burn. Not even
Nice.
done. Just can't feel it. Already like ready to go. Okay. Yeah, just downed it. And then and then I'm gonna actually answer the spell question to him. And I wanna gauge his reaction. Oh shit, I dropped my phone.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, these crew members they're impressed. They're they're pretty
Oh.
impressed with like the like your casting abilities. You know, there's maybe outside of like command crew NPCs and PCs, there's really most of them can't cast anything so special as as the arcing surge. Maybe one or two of them might be able to cast like the second level spell, the caustic conversion, but um, really most of them can't cast like arcing surge or any of the like higher like level spells, third level or above spells that you
Oh,
know.
okay, I see
So
what you're
they're
saying.
so they're so they're basically they're pretty impressed with it, and they'll hang on your every word for as long as you're willing to talk to them about this
Hmm.
experience. Like
Mm.
they're
And you're not hard on the eyes either.
you know
I know that. Shit.
like some of the security people seem to be paying attention, partly for the glorious combat, but also partly for the what might I have to expect on the battlefield. Like, most of the science and engineer crew seem to be in interested more because of, personal interest in the exploits of the, sort of like heroes of the kingdom, as it were. Um, uh, so yeah, they're kind of yeah they'll listen to uh, but if you for as long as you're willing to talk to him, there's maybe
I'm
one of
I'm
them's
gonna be
maybe a
very
technique.
cautious about
Yeah.
what I say, but I'm kind of intrigued about the whole like their reaction to me saying that. Like,
Yeah, yeah, uh, and this is the kind of thing that maybe Nerks probably maybe you saw Nerks make fun of this sort of like phenomenon a little bit because you guys are like
yeah.
you're the higher level characters here. Your exploits are known across the galaxy. Um, you kind of made a lot of friends and a lot of enemies. A
Oh
lot
my
of
god,
enemies.
so many enemies.
So many enemies, yes. But you've been involved in some big events too. Like you had shootouts with police on Versace. You shot up a Holovid award. Your planet suffered a. You had to retake your planet. You were involved in saving the Adari from robot dragons. That like you've done some things that have made the news, and your reputations have kind of preceded you. Like a lot of people think you're unkillable because your replicant got killed and you didn't, but most people don't know that that was a replicant. Maybe a few of them on the crew might have heard that, but it's like one of those things. It's like unless they have access to higher security clearance or whatever, they might not know that. Um,
That's fair.
um, but as far as they're concerned, like so many of you have reputations, uh, like Lee would probably have been described by a number of these people as being like this Zen martial arts master because the ones who have seen him fight or seen video of him fighting would have picked up on something like that. Uh, yeah, Nurks probably did say something like that. she was, she probably she was kind of saw this kind of stuff a little differently. But yeah, there's a little bit of like awe, and sparkles in their eyes to some extent. Many of them hope to be as badass as you guys are. Um, you know, some of them want to be able to tell their friends, "No, I heard that story, but I heard it from, the people themselves involved. This is what the unkillable Ashira actually said on the matter. This is what
The
you know,
unkillable.
this is what King's Eye said on the matter, or this is what the chaos, the absolutely unpredictable Shaba said. You guys tell stories about anything you do. They want to hear it. They'll ask you for stories too.
Well,
Yeah,
and like the Keepers of the Secretive literally have songs about us, so
yeah, that's
That's
true.
true.
There
we're
is an
part of.
intergalactic rock band who has made a lot of songs about you.
Oh, yummy.
This guy stopped us from having
This is what
fun.
happens when the groupies get out of control, damn it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, that's but yeah, you're kind of like, uh, and like surrounded by a small group of like, the crew members that happen to be off duty that want to hear some stories. Want to know what you guys saw and did.
Oh man.
There's maybe some that were actually there and saw stuff that are like, see, I fucking told you. Like, maybe a couple of people like, all right, fine, paying off a bet. Like, I
Off a
told you that's
bit.
how I told you that's how it went down. Um, yeah, kind of thing. The Kasathans really enjoy hearing stories over again because Kasathans love stories. They love legends and tradition, and stuff like that.
Yes.
So, but yeah, you're kind of you're kind of inundated with that right now. And I think maybe Ashira, you get like an alert from the bridge, like one of your shift lead kind of people, like a sergeant or something.
Yeah.
It just like gives you sends you a comms like, um, ma'am, I think you might want to come up here and double check and you might want to come up here. There's we want to get your want to get your official word on these sensor readings here.
Okay. Wait, you were talking to me, right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
yeah, they're calling you Ashira. You're the head of
Okay,
the
I
science and
will
scanning.
I will head up there.
All
Up
right.
there? Down there? I'm not real sure what floor.
Yeah, yeah.
I will be there in a minute.
Right on. Lee, are you going to go with, or are you going to continue to entertain these people, or are you going to, go off to
I'm
do
gonna go
something
with.
else? Or you're going to go with? All
Yeah,
right.
come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lieutenant Herr Colonel has to go now. Sorry, folks, we've got business to do.
Yep. Yep. Right on there. There's like everybody, the conversation kind of turns to like there's that sort of like moment of, oh, okay, and then the conversation kind of turns to what they heard you guys talked about, and like their like what they thought about it and what have you. Oh, I didn't think, or blah blah blah, and this that or the other. um do you guys wrangle Hafis to come with you, or you just leave him in the mess hall?
Uh, I look at Lee. I don't
I mean,
like. Are we doing this?
like, as far as function goes, Hafis doubles as security and a backup and an extra pilot
I
when,
mean, shit, that's good enough for me.
so,
Let's.
you know, he he doesn't necessarily have to be wherever you're going, but if you want to have him there, he'll go with you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Hafis will, like stand up to his full like 7.5 feet tall, 8 foot tall height or whatever it is, and you know, my friends, duty calls and I must go. And he and like he, slings his. He's probably not carrying his axe with him. He's on the ship and he don't really need it right now. But he kind of like he might have his pistol on his side or something. But but he stands up and follows. You guys
Hmm.
manage to make it up to the bridge.
And while we're walking, as a martial arts traveling teacher and competitor, I'm used to fans, but I'm not used to fans that I have to live with. This is a little odd. No response from Ashira.
Sorry, boyfriend was asking me a question. What did you say?
Oh.
Oh,
Lee
shut
said that
up.
he's used to having fans. He's just not used to having fans that later on he has to live with.
Well, I'm just gonna start walking.
She said, well, and then I
And
love,
then dipped. I'm just dipping. Let's
yeah,
go. Get this shit. We got deals to do
yeah,
and shit to do.
yeah. Yeah, I think it doesn't take you long to get to the bridge.
I also feel like Lee is not surprised.
Probably
No, not really.
Not particularly.
not. Yeah, you guys managed to make it to the bridge. And like your shift command person is like he says, we just wanted you to verify the readings we're getting here. We are at the moon with the detention center that Melp described as at the edges of our sensor ranges. But there's some weird stuff going on here. And he kind of like uh he he walks you over to a you know where one of the empty console seats is, and he punches up a few buttons and pulls up like some controls and brings up the display, like the sort of like the overall display, with overlays and what have you of what you've got. It was like and what you're seeing on there is that you see, of course, obviously the moon. Like there's a holographic image of this moon, um, in like on what there's like the little complete with the little holographic image of the detention center on the face of it. Um, there is a reading. You see that there is a like a little holographic like holographic representation of of the Spitfire on the surface, um, and
Okay.
around the detention center there appears to be some sort of barrier. But the most disconcerting thing is there is there's a cruiser, like there is like a massive battleship in the in orbit around the moon.
Great. Fantastic.
It's like and there's the it's like we figured you would probably want to run your own diagnostics on this, double check the data and what have you. But we figured as soon as we got the images, you'd want to know.
Great. So I'm gonna look at Lee. What do you think? I mean,
That's a big ass ship.
big ass ship. Um, what do you think we should do?
I think we should tell the captain and the commodore.
Yeah, that's a given though. No, calm down. Eldon said a hand grenade can solve that. Shut up, Sleph.
Uh,
That's funny.
And technically it's a carrier.
Carrier. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Carrier.
If it's orbiting, maybe we can sneak in while it's on the other side of the moon.
Oh, let's try that.
It seems to be it's like would you like to try to plot its trajectory of its course? around the moon.
Which one of us?
The carrier. Well, I mean, Ashira's got the computer skill.
Oh yeah, it's true. 1 second.
Actually, I don't know. Does Lee have computers as well? I don't.
Only a
know.
tiny bit.
Only a tiny
Okay,
bit.
then I'll do it.
I was trying to nudge Ashira.
Ah, I see.
Sorry. Hold on a second. Let me get it brought up here. Ew, rolled it too.
Holy crap. All right, 33. All right, it takes you like you know that this is going to take a bit of time. It's not something you're going to do in 5 minutes, but
Right.
like you sit down and you kind of like because you have to watch its pull up watch its orbital path for a little bit to gauge it. And what you're seeing is that they have the orbital path set to pretty much stay as flush with the base with the detention center as they can. Like they've plotted both speed and trajectory to stay pretty close to being over the top of the detention center.
Hmm.
And there um and you're start and you're actually getting like the vaguest bits of radio chatter um from the ship and from the carrier. There's a few other smaller ships that are flying around it,
Yeah.
shuttles and fighter craft and what have you. But the radio chatter is um, actually see. Let me see. There's encryption like on the channel. Give me a computer check to see if you can break the
Yep.
encryption. Find out what they're talking about. It's a pretty good roll, all things considered. Yeah. So what you get, and the messages are because you're so far away. It's there. It's
Yeah.
not an easy translate even with the decryption. So you only get piecemeal bits of information, but you hear them talking about like lockdown. You talk about uh, like security protocols. You hear mention of Inquisitor Flep. Uh, you you hear bits and pieces of like it doesn't seem like there's anything coming from the surface. All of the radio chatter seems to be around the carrier. Like you're not sure who's locked down. Um, and uh, Inquisitor Flep apparently, you're getting that this person is probably on the ground somewhere. You do also pick up around the Spitfire. There is some vehicles. There's a couple of tanks. Looks like there might be some life forms there too. Um, you'd have to get closer to get more detailed information, but you do get the gist that there is like that either the ship or the detention center is locked down right now, potentially both. There and for that to be happening, there's got to be a reason for it. You get um, let me see how detailed you can get here. Give me one more computer check here,
Yep.
and I'm gonna bank that for a minute because I want to. All right, awesome. Um, so you're still scanning and whatnot for
Yeah.
life signs. Kind of you're getting a good read on what you've got, what you guys are walking into. Um, do either of you pass any of this along? Like, I know
Yeah.
Lee said something about doing so. Were you, which one of you was making that call, and what does that sound like?
I'll let
Um,
Ashira do it.
I was gonna say you.
Well, who do you call first? Do you call, or do you just three-way call it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, yeah. So I guess Vesa and Zai, where you're both at, you both get rings on your phone.
Oh, that's perfect timing. Hello, I've returned.
Nice.
Hello. I have missed out on everything you've said, so it's not metagaming. What's
Well,
There you
going
go.
on?
we voted you off the island.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sorry.
fine. I'm kind of a mess, so it was to be expected.
Uh,
If we were voting anyone
No.
off the island,
So I may or may not have done some hacking.
Oh yeah.
We got some new information, so I'll just go over all of it with them and see kind of where they stand on it.
do you send to them the sensor readings?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to recant this for Amy though.
Give me like the dumbed
The
down
gist?
version because that's great. Like the super gist. Like guy's bad, big ship, very scary, gonna die.
That was my gist.
Yeah. They, so
I look at
basically,
Lee and I'm like, "You explain it."
There you
did
go.
you come up to the bridge?
I've been on the bridge this whole time.
Oh, okay. So you're right there. All right.
Hmm
I'll
Um,
with him when I
yeah,
get the call.
yeah. You get yeah. You're headed that way when you get the call. Then is that what I'm
I'm
getting?
sorry. Yes, yes. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I thought you could hear me, but you could not.
You're
Yes.
so you were on your way when you got the call. So right on. Yeah, you get from the data you're seeing for the sensor data, and this is at the very edges of your like sensor ranges. There is a carrier in orbit around the moon with the detention center. And Ashura has done, the computer work to plot the trajectory and figure the orbit. And they've figured the orbit is they're matching speed and rotation to where they can stay above directly above the detention center as far as orbit goes. Um, there's also like uh, some audio files that Shira has decrypted of people talking. You get the idea that there's a lockdown, although you're not entirely certain whether it's on the planet, the detention center, or whether it's just on the ship, or both. Yeah, you kind of might figure that it's at least on the detention center because there's some sort of energy shield around it. The planet to the ship at this time, but they're not panic. They don't seem to. There's just the vaguest stuff about readings of life signs because the is still working on that, getting you sort of like
Yeah.
life readings and what have you. But yeah, there's an energy shield around the detention center, a carrier ship that is matching its orbit to the position of the detention center on the moon, and the Spitfire is currently surrounded by a couple of tanks. Um, and there's apparently some sort of lockdown going on, and nobody seems to be panicking about it.
It's a normal Tuesday.
So I wonder if the lockdown's occurring because it's a fucking prison, or if the lockdown is occurring because of Shaba. And why aren't they panicking? Because Shaba's fucking scary.
So I don't think you understand how crazy our Sluff was, and these ones make him look okay.
I never met Sluff, so
I'm so
I don't have
sad you
anything to
didn't.
judge against.
Oh, he was
He would have
clinically
loved it.
insane.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Quite literally did like I he was amoral, but people liked him because he had a funny voice, but he was a pretty insane and terrible person.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
he
my
was a
good
mad
boy.
scientist too. He was all rat, and then suddenly he was all robot.
That's fair.
Hence why him and Shaba got along so well.
Yeah.
Mm,
Hmm.
One of many reasons.
Until they didn't for some reason. Shaba.
That wouldn't have to be shoving you through an airlock and go bye.
Oh no, this was beforehand, when we blew up half the fucking space station we were on.
That too.
Valid.
Yo, all I'm saying is when Shaba slapped that bucket out of your hand, I was like, crap. Take this helmet. No. Fuck you.
Wait, how do we feel about hailing the Spitfire just to see if anybody's on there for funsies?
I was gonna say, we don't need to have anybody on there. The VI, so long as it hasn't been completely disabled, should be able to like do something possibly.
Well, I was kind of shooting for like signs of life
The
of
VI
any
should be
kind.
able to tell us that.
Okay.
Let's try.
Okay.
Open. Ashira, please open an encrypted frequency and see if the VI will respond.
Yeah, give me a computer check.
Damn, I just keep going up, y'all.
Right. Let's see. Yeah, you're gonna have to get a little bit closer, but you're pretty sure that you're gonna have to get closer. You're gonna have to get close enough that the carrier might be able to detect you.
Okay.
That's how we were waiting for the carrier to make it further around the planet.
But here's the thing: the carrier is staying even with the detention center.
Um, but we
It's
have a long
literally
range.
matched. They literally match their orbit so that the carrier would remain over the top of the
Yeah, that makes sense.
at all times.
Hey Lee, can you get us a little closer?
You got it.
Sounded super confident. I don't know. This is a good idea.
Yeah.
Hey, he's the best in this dimension, for sure.
So, all right. So, getting in sort of closer. Let's see. You do get readings from the ship, and you get readings that there are life signs on the ship, and that the VI is basically pretty much like they've locked whatever they did, they've managed to lock the VI out of most of the controls, whoever is on there.
Really hard to do.
So the
Right.
VI, yeah, so the VI itself is like, I'm sorry, I can't connect to that feature right now. I'm sorry, I can't connect to that feature right now. I don't have access to those files.
Goddamn Shaba!
Yeah.
Well,
Lead them to the grenade room and then pull the pin.
the VI doesn't have hands. It doesn't work like that. No.
Technically, RVI has both a body and a personality. You just
Yeah.
haven't been playing it.
Yeah.
Well, it does not have. They took its holographic projectors offline.
Ah, see, now I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't detect any life signs currently
No,
inside.
it does detect the life signs. It has access to some of its sensors equipment, but it does not have access to piloting. It does not have access to your intelligence files. It does
That's
not
fine.
have access to its holographic projectors. there's like a slew of systems that it does not still have access to.
Right.
Like
I
when they,
literally
yeah,
does it have eyes right now? Like can it look around the cabin?
there are cameras.
Right. So I want to just pull the cameras up and be like, who's on there?
Well, a lot of isekai, one of which looks quite a bit like the files for Slef. Only lots of cybernetic. Well, this is also in common with because he's got lots of cybernetic upgrades.
Hmm.
And
Cool.
seems to be leading them.
Great. They're on the ship right now. I'm gonna look over at Zai and I'm gonna go, we should just blow up the Spitfire. Do you want to blow up the Spitfire?
Well, if we blow up the Spitfire, we will destroy a few of them. We'll definitely let them know that we're here. And we don't know if. Well, wait. Can you tell us who's on the ship?
That's
Because
what
his
I
name
was
is
going
Flim.
for.
Nope.
Like,
Flep's not on the Spitfire. Flep's in the detention center.
Are
no,
any of our
Flim is the name of the VI.
yeah,
Um,
Phlegm, that's right, with a bunch of M's on the end. Like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
Phlegm is I just need to know if we see Xander or Shaba. Hell, even Loyalty Dash Zero. That's
none of from what you can get from the cameras, you don't seem to see them on there.
okay.
Mm.
And are all these isekai just like having a casual walkabout, or are they like panicked
No,
and like searching?
no, this is a military sweep and clear kind of operation. There are some that are standing guard and have their rifles out, but there's also some that are on the computers working, like gathered like in the computer system. Um, and then the one that seems to be in command is kind of standing in the middle of it all, giving orders.
Okay.
Mm.
I have a great idea. I don't know. It might not be a great idea. Tell me how you feel about this. We should just project ourselves, not ourselves, just one person, through the VI, pretending to be the Spitfire VI, and just scare them a little and make them scatter. You know, real super simple. Hi, you have stumbled upon something you shouldn't have. This ship will self destruct in 10, 9, 8. And then just, have a little fun and see what happens.
Mm. They've already taken over most of the systems. They probably wouldn't be worried about that. I mean, they are super hyper intelligent. That's the problem.
Yeah, all right. Okay, well, I just wanted to blow something up. Damn it,
Well,
and I
and
just had
we
that
still
really good chat with
may end up
Sasaki.
blowing something up, but
I know. I'm gonna put a calzone in the microwave, so you guys let me know what you decide. And Besa says that. Well, Amy actually does it.
I love the idea that Vase is like, fuck it, we'll figure out this really important thing later. I'm gonna put a calzone in the microwave.
Yeah, basically,
she's gotta
leave,
have a full stomach before battle.
go like, yeah, you guys figure this out. I'm gonna go back to the mess hall and get a fucking calzone. I'll be back.
Hmm.
I mean,
So,
I did it.
Lee, Pizza, and Ryan. Let me think. Do we go in guns blazing and bypass us trying to be diplomatic about this, or do we turn on the speakers and play some random music for them?
You're
Mostly
asking the
the music.
martial artist whether he wants to fight or not.
You're asking a diplomat whether he wants to fight or not.
I just want to know what flavor calzone
We
you
both
guys
look
want.
at Ryan.
Oh, I look back
Well-
at Lee and go, I feel like I know his answer.
Okay.
I
Surprisingly,
punch something.
if you look at his files, he's actually quite good at being diplomatic when he wants to be.
True.
I like the idea of having a conversation.
Okay.
So is Lee, but
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
if I'm not allowed to go big, I might as well use my diplomacy
home.
skills. Right. If you won't let me blow a fucking ship up with a bunch of rats on it, we should probably have a
How many
conversation.
You know
hexes
that's
away are we
our
from the
ship.
carrier?
It's fine. We can build another ship.
Not if we don't save the
Investment.
universe.
It's okay.
Jessa,
Yeah.
how many hexes away are we from the carrier at this point?
You are close enough that if their sensor systems are any good, they're probably going to detect you soon.
Okay, so we're less than 100 hexes away. It's too bad. Hmm.
Can we make
I
Melp
can't do a
look like a?
Sluff voice. It's the horrible thing.
Can we make Melp look like a more connected rat? Darken him up,
No.
or try
Yeah,
and make him
we
fit
are.
the MO of Slough?
Oh no, we don't
Oh,
want to
it's
do
Slough.
that.
Slough. Sorry.
Yeah. Or their version is Mad Tinker. Either way, we already disguised Melp as a completely different coded Isekai, and like we took time with him. His disguise check is beautiful. It's some of my finest work. But so let's announce ourselves. Boo.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
you
playing along, Amy.
yeah, you get a
I mean, we'd already sent out a message that said we were coming, technically. So
you get
True, we did.
you get a voice back that it's like, identify yourself.
we sent a message. We said we were coming. We're here to see Mother Task. We have Mad Tinker shit from Dimension blah 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 42.
No one sees the mother task except for the highest ranking. He's like, he
Well,
says,
then let's start with the highest ranking. Take me to your best tinkerer.
he's like, he says the highest ranking officer here would be Inquisitor Flep, and he's on the surface. He's indisposed at the
Okay.
moment.
Who's the highest ranking on your ship? Is it you? I
He's
apologize
like,
if it is.
he, uh, he's like, um, you're gonna make me make up a name for yet another NPC.
Yay!
Milk 2.
Nope.
Electric Boogaloo.
Mm. That's a 50. I don't know why I rolled base, so let's try that again. That's not Zai. Vesa, thank you for the, help roll.
He's like, Commander Verp is the next highest in charge.
All right, then I'd like to talk to him.
You get a view screen, and you get a very angry-looking isekai who looks fairly similar to Sluff. He's like,
Mm.
"What the fuck do you want?"
Wow. You look like the Mad Tinkerer, my friend. Very good.
Wow, you look like the Mad Tinkerer. That's such a obvious kiss ass fucking.
And he's like,
Okay, Zai's check was a little bit worse, but still.
he's like, he crosses his arms like he's waiting for.
Oh, did the other one not tell you why we are calling? He didn't do his basic job? Man, he's not like the Tinkerer I know. Hi, I'm from Dimension blah 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 42, and I have Mad Tinkerer stuff from our dimension that we would like to trade.
He's like, you do know by even being in this space, you're trespassing, right?
Can
You
I
Do
Can I
you
make a
know?
Diplo
Go
check?
ahead.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, he's still talking. They haven't powered up their
Yeah.
weapons or
Yeah.
sent ships
Well,
at you
no,
yet.
and I mean our shields are up. We're not stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Withaki is going to go, hey, sorry, I'm a communications officer, but we figured we had some pretty expensive or some pretty rare stuff, some pretty important, first generation genetic material, and we figured no one else would be interested but you guys, and we wanted to kind of come forward with our best foot forward,
And
say hi.
also, how could
And
we get here without permission?
He's like, that's a good question. He's like, he's like,
Vesa, I need you to help me with a bluff check.
I know. I'm doing it. Hang on.
I was about to say, I'm a trans-dimensional guy. Like, I would know
No!
for
Yeah, well,
sure.
But that's okay. Hold
that's
on.
good.
I have a reroll on bluffs. Bitches. 45 plus whatever it
Yeah.
is with the 2D. Hold on. I'm literally
That's definitely good for me to get the plus.
dragging.
But I also want Michael to help too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
do
want
it.
Win 5 to help too.
Yeah.
See, look,
Okay.
but I get a
Yeah,
D6
gonna
for
be
that.
like, listen, we're trans-dimensional folk, we had talked to a couple people before from the Triple C, and we just wanted to, trade. At the end of the day, we're just humble traders trying to make a living and trying to, maybe make some friends. It's a dangerous world out there.
um, I, I think he's like, traders don't just fall into this dimension or whatever they call it. You can only get here with special technology.
Uh-huh.
So that means you either stole it from somebody or somebody gave it to you.
That's not necessarily true. See, I'm a witch warper. My whole shtick is going place to place.
We're
He,
all just really talented and lost.
Yeah, I
he,
didn't say we're lost. I said we suck. Suck. Seeked, sought them out. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And I said that we definitely
We
had to have
sucked
gotten
them out.
permission to figure out how to get here.
Yeah.
he's like, he's like, I don't have the authority to negotiate anything. You're gonna have to wait for Inquisitor Flat. He,
I look over at the captain and
And
go, are we willing to wait?
can we go down there,
no,
please?
no.
I look at him and I look through the comm screen with the most deadpan look a bug man can fucking muster, and I go, what if we offer a couple juice boxes?
He's just like, he's like, no, we're dealing with an internal situation.
Mm.
You're going to have to wait. He says,
We can help. We can help with your internal
he's like,
situation.
he's like, and I think
Um,
this is a good point to cut back over to Shaba. Actually, it's a good point to cut back over to Xander because we haven't checked in with Xander.
He's in a hole.
Xander, you've been waiting. Like you've been waiting, and you haven't. It's at this point. It's been 2 days. You haven't heard anything from Shaba or Loyalty Dash Zero after the alarms went off.
He's in
And
there fighting for 2 days.
you're not sure what they were doing for 2 days. You don't have no idea what happened to them.
Mm.
Anytime you've gone anywhere and kind of looked in the general direction of the Spitfire, like without trying to reveal yourself, it looks like the isekai that were there have had a presence, kept a presence on the Spitfire. They seem to be like, you get it. Like you probably get it. Like it makes sense. Like this would be the only ship you guys could have come in. They're probably likely waiting here to see it, to wait for their intruders to return to their ship, once they're flushed out, and then their intent is to ambush. Um, and so you got lucky and was able to like see this before you were had before they saw you. The first time that you were the first time you came back towards the ship. Every other time you've kept like your distance. Like nope, there's still tanks there. Um, so it's been a minute, and
All right, fuck it. I don't care. I'm going to drink a serum of sex shift and walk up to the ship.
I'm gonna get captured. I'm gonna be female.
uh,
Shut up, Chris.
all right. Well,
I
uh,
fucking dare.
Bravo, sir, bravo.
as you approach the ship, hold on. Are you trying to do it stealthily, or are you gonna do this just outright?
I assumed
Well,
it was
I'm going to do
outright, but nothing.
stealthily just to see who's still there. If they're still there, I'm going to be like, fuck it. Let's see who's up there.
And give me a stealth roll then.
Remember, you're a scholar. No, you don't need to be a scholar right
Nice.
now.
I rolled a
You a
20.
ninja.
Yeah, so it looks like there is like you can see from the outside, you can see that there's at least 4 guards outside, waiting, and they're all Yusakai. Like, obviously, there's 4 guards on the outside. Like, there's at least 2 that are standing. You're not sure if there's any of them in the tank or not, any of these are the tanks or not. You're fairly certain that there's at least a few on the ship. Because every now and again you'll see you'll see someone come out, um, talk to one of the guards for a minute, and then go back in.
2 days. Apparently, I have to take the ship back myself.
I was gonna
She's
say
probably
I would
dead.
try a distraction, and if you can get them to all come out to investigate, then sneak on board and lock the door,
Fine,
or at
throw a
least
grenade at one of them.
at them, or just like
Yeah,
somewhere like
one
far away.
guy. I don't fucking
Okay.
care. I'm gonna throw it at one guy.
Aim at the square because the square has a smaller like number.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it at some dude's feet.
Okay. But this time I wouldn't throw the wonder grenade. I know that sounds horrible because I'm Psy, but
Who
Roll
are you,
your
and what have you done with Zai?
I
roll
don't
your
have a
attack.
wonder.
you should. What grenade are you throwing?
Let's throw a shot grenade. Fuck it.
All right, give me the attack roll.
Is it just a ranged throw thing?
Yeah, it's a throw. It's a throw and attack. 25. All right, that's enough to hit the square.
All right.
Go ahead and roll the damage. And what item level is this shot grenade? What is the
Apparently he has shot grenade 2.
Yeah, a 2. So is that
which makes
1d12 or 2d12?
It
shot grenade
says
2?
1d12 e 15 feet.
MK2 shot grenade. And what's your strength score? Or your dex score, I should say. Your dex adjustment.
Modifiers +4.
+4? Okay. All right, so +4 and 14. Let's see. Shot grenade 2. What level weapon is that? That is
A level 4.
level 4, so that's DC 18 on the reflex.
Yeah, it's a CRB 184.
And oops, I closed the book I needed, and I moved it. I closed and moved the book I needed.
I believe in you. You can do this.
Okay.
I know it's hard.
Oh shit!
I know.
Dropping.
I know. Hey, hey, take a deep breath. It's okay.
Dropping books and stuff. Dropping things here. Uh. All right. Oops. Well, the two guys that are within range, dudes, both of them managed to, um, avoid the worst of it. They still take 1 point of damage, but
Cass
they
called
are
me to tell me that there's this cookie set that we sell.
Uh-huh.
And when he picked up the green ones, the fucking inside candy is wrapped in plastic in the cookies.
Ew.
That's not good.
Oh, what the fuck even?
Somebody's stupid.
Welcome to Walmart. I don't know. Sorry, that threw me
Anyway.
off completely.
They still take the 1 point of damage, but they now look in your direction. And being that you are obviously not a isekai, um, one of them is like, "Put your hands up."
Put them
Like
up.
he
So
just like,
calm.
Like,
yeah, he's like,
what happened? Where'd that come from?
yeah, yeah,
Wasn't me.
they're like, they approach with rifles trained on you.
Yeah, my
Like,
hands are up. Is like, hey, what happened? Where'd that come from? Where the heck am I?
one of them puts on the one of them like taps on their comms like, "We've got one of them. Oh, female android, like looks like a female version of the one we've got in the sub levels." Okay. Yep. Sure. And like the one that like, "I'm gonna have to ask you to put your hands behind your back and sit and get down on your knees." Like
It's
one of
actually
them's already,
supposed to be behind the head, but okay, I'll put it behind my back.
yeah, one of them's already got like like some high tech like laser cuffs out, and you put your hand. He goes behind you and cuffs you up, and he's like,
I still correct him, be like, the best way is to do it behind my head, not behind my back. But
he
okay.
he he's like, "We're not going far." And like the commander of this unit like comes out of the ship, and he's like, he looks much more like Celeste than these other two that you've seen on file and whatnot. He's like, and he's got a lot of cybernetic upgrades. He's like, "Was wondering when I was wondering when one of you would show up." And he's like, "Nope, he's like, you're not the Shaba." And he's like,
The who? What are you talking about? I
he's
don't even
like,
know how I got here.
he's
What is
like,
going on?
he's like, there's a moment, and he's like, he's like, well then, and he kind of like, like pulls on his communication. He's like, "Need a team. Yep. Bring the appropriate. Yep. Well, out of the ship. Where the fuck else would we be, dumbass?" Like, and then there's like it's like, fine. And there's a moment where like, and he's like, and he's kind of like, "Hold him over here." And it's like, got it. They like have you, they move you over to like, they sort of like nudge you to move over towards the tanks.
Okay, are you going to tell me where the fart I am? I mean, I was cooking dinner 5 minutes ago.
He's
Now
like,
I'm here.
nope. He goes, but he says, you're not talking to me. You're going to be talking to Inquisitor Flap. He'll get answers
Ooh,
for you.
he sounds
Yeah.
like a nice person. Cool.
Yeah. And there's a moment, and like you see that there's a he's like, we're gonna have a team here to pick you up and transport you back to the detention facility. He says, he says, he kind of like he leaves it at that. He's like, it's like keep an eye on him. And he says, I'll send a couple of. He's like, and he kind of knocks on the like tank, and he's like, you keep your eyes peeled outwards so they can watch the prisoner. And there's a and like they're kind of he gets a response like, will do, sir, from inside the tank. There's a and he kind of goes back to like inspecting the ship. um it goes back to like inspecting the ship and what have you. uh in the meantime, Shaba, you and Loyalty, did you try to go beyond the energy barrier physically? Or have you
Yeah.
stayed?
No,
Yes?
we'll try
No?
to get beyond the barrier.
You're gonna try to get behind the barrier? Um, are you physically doing that, or how are you that?
Physically.
Physically? Okay. You're just gonna try to cross through. Okay. Yeah. Um, you are able to cross through the barrier physically. Apparently, it stops magic and it stops the barrier as they had it set up, stops magic and scrambles normal communication lines. But you were able to physically get through it. Loyalty has a great deal more trouble getting through it. You actually have to grab his arm and pull him through. You're guessing it has to do with the fact that he's not a caster, and for whatever reason, in this place, and particularly on this moon, your your mystical abilities seem to have utility they wouldn't. Just your mystical knowledge in general. But yeah, you get him pulled through. It doesn't take you long to it didn't take you long to find out that the ship was under lock and key and guard. That they had taken the ship, and it seems to be a solid enough force there. They're clearly waiting for somebody to come back to jump them, or to waiting for you guys to come back to the ship. Um, you have not been able to find Xander. Um, it does not appear. It didn't appear when you first approached and saw the vehicle from a distance. You couldn't tell if Xander was there or not. But they didn't seem to be like having they you know um, it it didn't seem like they had him there because they were in waiting mode more than anything.
Okay.
But it's now day 2 since you managed to escape your confrontation with Commander Flub Flub, or Inquisitor Flub Flub. So, what is your course of action here? Would you like to try to search for Xander again? Would you like to go back to the ship and try to check it out? What's your, or are you just gonna wait or are you gonna wait? Or are you gonna try to send out a communication, or how's this work?
I will go back and check the ship. Like from a safe enough distance.
All right. Are you using a spell or stealth, or how are you gonna do it?
No, I'm gonna stealth it.
Okay, give me a stealth roll. Not bad. All right. Give me a perception roll. All right. So, uh, let's see. Both you and Loyalty managed to get a little bit closer. You see that getting a bit closer, you see now that since the last time you came, you were checked this place. Now the the guards that are outside, two of them, well, three of them seem to be paying attention outward. You can't tell what the guys in the tanks are doing, but there's one that is guarding a prisoner, and that +2 to your vision base. That's cybernetics, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we get like that whirring of the scoping noise or whatever, and like as you focus in, and you realize that there is a android woman that looks like Xander that they have captive there.
Oh, great. I look at Loyalty and like, that's Xander, right?
Yeah, he nods and he's like, question is, how do we get in? He's like, he nods. He's like, wonder why he did that. There's he's like, he's a weird one. And he like he kind of he
I'm not arguing
looks
that point.
concerned. Yeah, he's like, the question is, how do we've already seen what their people are capable of. How do we freeze Xander and recapture the ship?
I don't know.
Uh,
Easier if he was here, but
yeah.
we gotta save him.
All right. So you guys are kind of looking down the barrel of this, trying to give you a couple minutes to think about that. The stellar flare. So you guys are kind of in orbit. Kira, you actually have managed to fine tune your life reading, your sensors to get, a little bit clearer reading on life readings. You pick up a lot of the curve cabal on the planet. Their genetic, their signatures very closely matching Sloughs, in a lot of cases. You can't detect anything on the behind the energy barrier at the detention center, so there's really no what's going on with that. But you do find out that, of course, the carrier, for one, is just it looks like it's maybe 5 people short of what its full crew complement would be. A full complement of fighters and shuttles. As for the life signs on the planet, you're able to pick up a cluster of life signs around the Spitfire now, and you're able to get a little bit more read from the Spitfire's like cameras, and looking around at the cameras and whatnot. Um, Looking through the external cameras, you can see that they have a female android that looks like Xander, cuffed and in custody. Um, there's no sign of Shaba. You do get life readings close to the area, but it's indistinct as to who or what they are. It could be more of these people scouting, or it could be Shaba and loyalty. It could be anybody. I mean, well, maybe not anybody, but it's highly improbable that it's many people. But it's of your options, it could be loyalty and Shaba, or it could be more of these curve cabals. But you do have a read on the ship now. Read on a little bit better handle on the situation. And there's a like there's a bit of a hole, like maybe you get a communication back on the bridge. It's like Inquisitor Flep will contact you within the day. Within the day. It was like the like your it's Commander Verb. He's like he'll have some questions for you.
I bet.
Yeah, and they kind of and that's all the message that he sends. He didn't bother with any further conversation. You do know, Ashura, you're able to figure that they're running consistent. They've run scans on you. They can,
Okay.
which they consistently update. Like they rescan you every, 15 to 30 minutes. It's not an exactly each and every time exact time measurement each and every time.
Yeah.
Knowing knowing Sluff's mentality, it's hard to tell whether that's on purpose to keep you off balance or they just are chaotic like that. Because much like Sluff, sometimes it was hard to determine what was the plan and what was the chaos.
I would say we have a computer target of 51. Not computer target. I mean, I know they can still do it, but yeah, our number is ridiculously high.
Right. There's a but yeah, like it doesn't appear that they're like trying to get data or anything like that. They're not necessarily actively trying to hack your computer. They're just scanning to see what um, you know, see what you got on you, what you're packing as far as weaponry and like shields and other like starship equipment. They're basically, you would assume, Ashira, that they're basically monitoring to see if anything changes, whether you turn on your weapons or turn off your shields or do anything different that they could interpret as a hostile action. They're basically just watching you.
I, for one, am kind of insulted that the person they sent to talk to us is named after the words for vomit and burp at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You folks have audio files of the original Sluff, right?
Yes, we do. Lots.
Do you have any way of making a broadcast seem like it's coming from below instead of from us?
I bet we can. That'd be a Shira's thing, though.
Do I need to? What do I need to do?
Well, first you have to make the file of Sluff's voice saying he's Flap Flap or whatever the hell his name is, and to let us go down to the surface.
Okay, what I mean is, do I have to roll for that? I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Meanwhile, other side of cattle.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Is it
But
enough though?
um, it would be if you had any idea where Inquisitor Flup was actually supposed to be at that
That's true.
time, and if it wasn't completely obvious that Inquisitor Flup had just spoken to Commander Verp. Because Commander Verp didn't communicate with you at all until like he fucking just was like popped on. I was like, yeah, he'll be here within the day. You know.
Yeah.
I wonder if they know about Rueval
That gives us
Duskovan.
a day to do this right.
Like, do you think,
So
out of curiosity, Sean, do you think they know about Rueval Duskovan?
well, considering Ruval Dushkovin actively worked for the Dominion of the Black, they probably did.
They probably did. Yeah, I love that. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Yeah. They probably considered that a bad genetic copy.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, there is a he, um, but he he does the but as soon as like he says that that Flup Inquisitor Flup will be with you within the day, he pretty much essentially hangs up. And he's just like but yeah, they like there's a
What are
well, you
those
guys,
two?
I don't know. So you guys are kind of like hanging there, putting together this file and whatnot. Um, and it's a few hours after, well, actually, I will cut back to the planet surface. Shaba and Loyalty Dash Zero, it's after a little bit, you actually see a, an armored truck come from out of a heavily armored truck come from the detention center and drive from the direction driving up from the detention center directly towards the ship. Xander, you would see this too. They probably see it first though, because they're farther out. Um, but yeah, there is a truck, and it is transporting, or it is coming. It drives over to the ship. It stops, and like about 6 isekai, um, like jump out of it. It's almost like it's like a military grade, like armored personnel, carrier type thing. And they jump out with their guns drawn, and they approach you, the Xander, and like one of them talks to the guard that's been watching you. Is like, yeah, we'll take custody of this one. You're relieved, and they like you've got you're kind of surrounded by some of these isekai with guns, and one of them's like to you is just like, all right, time to go, get up, let's do
Yes, sir.
it. How do you respond, Xander?
I'm like, yes, sir. I get up and don't argue and do exactly what they ask.
Yeah, they lead you over to the armored truck, and they're like loading you up. Uh Shaba, you and Loyalty can see this, that they're loading Xander into this armored truck. He appears to be cuffed. Well, she at this point.
So, what do you think? Ambush the truck when it gets a little farther away?
He's like, They get back in that at best that energy barrier, we're probably not going to have a shot at it. This is if we're going to do it, we're going to have to do it fast. We wish we had a vehicle here we could use. So if they get wind of what we're doing, they'll outrun us.
That, or we just do it now. They wouldn't be expecting it.
Well, I think loyalty kind of nods. He's like, it kind of nods. He's like, the odds, especially with those tanks. But you might be right. He's like, and he's gonna activate. He's gonna go into stealth and activate his cloaking field.
How far away is that personnel carrier?
In order to be back far enough that they're not seeing you, I imagine you're probably at least 100 feet back. At least.
That's all I needed to hear. Knowing that loyalty is still near me, but I probably can't see him. You get Xander out of there. I'll cause the distraction and sort of get their attention.
Yeah, you don't get a response, but you aren't sure you were really particularly expecting one necessarily.
So I look at that armored personnel carrier.
Oh, okay. Disintegration, huh? Targets EAC. Alright, so I need that. And your attack roll is 31. That probably hits. Let's see what I gotta do. So, vehicles. Let's see. So they have AC. Modification.
Well, I'm striking an object, not a person.
Right. And does it have different? Use to get the array simply 10-foot cube of non-living matter. This is spelled. This goes. Oh, okay. Yeah. So a portion of that tank disintegrates. Oh, a creature or object that succeeds at a fortitude saving throw. Okay, so it does get a saving throw. What is the DC?
26.
Let's see. Does it get any pluses to this? I don't think it does, but we'll see. See, furnace. Partial cover, like all and flip. Yeah, and you're pointing at. And what were you trying to disintegrate?
The APC itself.
Okay, yeah. So you disintegrate a portion of the APC. They like any particular portion, like the back half, the front half, the front
Half,
part.
where the pilot, where the driver is, and all that and like the front wheels and just sort of make it all go poof.
All right. Well, the driver falls to the ground in a pile of dust, um, looking quite surprised. Uh, and yeah, let's see. And loyalty speed is okay. 60 on a double move. You can get there this round. Yeah, but that's all he can do. All right. Yeah. And I think we see maybe the shimmering of like the sort of shimmering distortion, whatever of loyalty dash zero moving very quickly across the broken ground, the rocky broken ground, trying to get to the to where Xander's at, and we'll cut back over to the stellar flare real quick, and the screen flickers. The screen flickers to life on the bridge again. Like it's. Are you guys? Who's all still up there? Is
Everyone, I would assume. I don't think
okay?
that
You
Yeah.
guys are
much
Yeah.
still.
left.
Everybody's still just hanging on the bridge. Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
Um.
technically, we should all be at battle stations.
Yeah. There is a.
Is there crew that technically could like work for Withaki? As in like not work for, but as in like, does Withaki have subordinates?
You
Mm,
can totally. Why not?
Because Withaki wants someone to get him sugar water because he's
Hmm.
like, it's go time. I need to make sure I'm well fed.
Yeah. Go nuts.
Yeah, Withaki's just sitting at the bay, just waiting for someone to bring him sugar water, being like, man.
Here you go, Wasaki.
Yeah. If
Twinkle
no.
is apparently taking a nap, so yells Gunner in the background.
Okay. Well. Um. So I imagine that at this point, what happened? Like, if no one else does it, Plu will get drinks for everybody. But as
Hey,
usual, they're the right drinks, but he gives them to the wrong person.
what
Oh.
did Withaki get?
I think at this point, Withaki probably got a coffee.
Hey,
Ashira, you got blue grog.
Oh Jesus.
What'd I get?
Jester, you're supposed
Vesa,
to
you
jump
got
on my
sugar
end.
water.
Who got my
yay.
pomegranate juice?
Great. Russian
There you
roulette.
go.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody gets
Withaki's
like
like,
water.
I don't think I'm capable of drinking coffee, but we should try it anyway.
Explodes. Just explodes.
Uh,
Apparently
Yeah,
coffee
just the
kills him.
wings start beating off. Yeah, no. Withaki is going to fix everyone's drinks and be like, Plu, I really like your can-do attitude. You're doing great, buddy, as he's like swapping everyone's drinks to the correct person.
he,
Aw.
he's like, I'm just trying to help.
I'd like to think that Plu and I are like friends just because we both like to be unerringly positive.
Right?
Yeah.
um, the screen on your screen comes to life, and the isekai's face that's on there now, um, is different from slightly different from this one's an even closer match to Sluff's left than the last guy. And he's like, so this is Inquisitor Flap, and we have 3 of your people on the surface. What do you want here? Who the he's like King's Eye, what the fuck do you want here?
I push mute. I'm like, Vesa,
Mm-hmm.
are we supposed to tell them the truth in this instance? Or
I
we
think
just, I mean, if they're already captured, there's
we could be
really,
a completely different party and we could just
eh,
I don't know, man.
Good question. Why do they know there are people?
Because they have files on all of us.
Oh, on their ship. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, not only that, but like I did identify us by dimensions, so it's a very
Okay,
least.
you know what? You know what? No, Wathaki's gonna go. Oh, thank God you found them. We've been looking for. We didn't want to cause a panic, but there was just this issue, and they got lost. They're a lot like pets, you know. We tried to lure them in with treats, but we couldn't find a good enough treat source. And I'm actually going to bluff. Wathaki's gonna try and sell this.
I love
It's
that.
not gonna work, but he's gonna try.
Can I help
Yeah.
before I?
Please help.
Okay,
I mean, that's not horrible, but
hang on.
Hmm.
It's a 40.
Excellent.
I think his response is, yeah, you're the Shabo, your pets, which none of you are supposed to even be in this dimension. First of all, tried to take something tried to take something from us. So, no, they didn't just get lost going to the bathroom.
They are kind of feisty, aren't they? Wathaki's gonna look at the captain and be like, "What the fuck do we do? What the fuck do we do?"
the good news is you can think that at me. Remember,
It's
ARS.
oh no, he's doing it hot mic. Like
Oh,
he's Wathaki's a fucking idiot.
we
Oh
muted
He's
God!
that
you.
As
empty.
you start to panic, I'm gonna turn the mic off because we don't panic like that here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're about to be like, "What?" and then just click.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry, didn't hit the button. What the fuck do we do?
Wait, I don't know. That's a great question.
Mm.
In
Man,
other news, Ace is about to have space diarrhea and has to bolt. I'm so sorry.
Ace, in fact, ate some bad. I almost said ate some bad space diarrhea, which would explain why you would have space
Well,
diarrhea.
Exactly
But
why.
well, I tell you
Something
what,
came up. I'm sorry. I gotta wander.
that's a good time.
I
So
tell you,
you,
it's midnight, and this is a decent breaking off place here. If you guys want to call it, and come back to the
just
negotiating with Inquisitor Flip next week.
would we want
Yeah,
to
we could
open
talk about flippity flop
with
next
Amy's
week.
goodbye, or Amy, do you have time for a sign off?
If I can do the goodbye right now, that'd be great.
Let's go ahead and do that. Everybody mail me Player's Choice Awards, and we'll let Amy do sign off, and we will move on from there.
Hello, maybe again. I played Vesa poorly. I'm in other games throughout the week. Check it out. They're all fun. I love you guys. I'm gonna go.
Bye,
Bye.
Amy. We love you.
Bye.
space diarrhea.
Ruh-roh. All right, who's next?
I'm the Computer King, gentleman supervillain, and I was playing Lee, who really didn't want to have to come up with plans for you people because his plans are weird. Other than today's, I'm also in New Amsterdam on Thursday nights, where I'm playing Payne Dexter, aka Dexter Payne, solo and brain dance creator. He's sort of like a TikToker, except for he kills things while he TikToks. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah, other than that, if you're interested in the darker side of human sexuality and you like podcasts, go to any podcatcher and either look up Computer King or Into the Dark with the Computer King. That's my podcast, and adults only, please. That's it for me.
All right. Next up.
Tonight I played Captain Zai. It was a lot of fun.
Unnecessary Amazon.
What was that?
The hell was that?
I hit the
That's what I'm
wrong
saying.
button. Sorry.
Okay. So that was scary. Anyway, so after all that, my friend Propa Codex and my friend Amy Gooden both have T Publics. Check them out. They were 35% off this morning, so they should be still. And on to Purple Codex. When you want it, then you got it. Come on to Naughty Nina's.
Purple
Yay!
Codex.
No. Hey,
Hold
is
on, it
this
needs a proper. If you
okay?
want it, then you say, alright, 90s. Okay, there we go.
There.
Okay. I'm Purple. I am tired. I've been working 11-hour days at Walmart, which let me tell you is a nightmare. So there's that.
Must be nice.
Man, they're cutting our hours.
Yeah, they're
I
cutting
mean,
everyone's hours, but
I
I don't
can't even
apply
get
to
an
that. They
8.
make me stay till it's done. I
Oh,
don't.
dude, my department is 4 people down, and I can't get an 8-hour shift but once a week at this point. It's pissing me
It's
off.
it's very rare when they tell us that they're cutting hours and actually have my team be a part of it. Like we don't usually get the time off, which is fine with me because of money, but you know. Anyways, let me think. I can't think of anything else. Sorry. I'm here every Monday night. Well, unless it gets postponed. Last week we had to postpone. That was so we didn't actually do the game, but that's fine because we're here this week.
Yep,
Yep.
indeed. Who's next?
Xander?
All right, I'm Scott. I played Xander, and I lived in a cave for 2 days. So it's like, all right, let's make something happen. Let's see what happens. Fuck it.
Yep. Yeah.
I mentally rolled the dice, and I rolled a 2. Does that count?
uh,
You've all been infected by flipping
Definitely
the
works.
coin.
Okay, what
And
else am I in?
Cyrus.
He started it. What else am I in? Okay, Thursday, we've got Brain Fart, New Amsterdam, where I'm fine, trust me. Oh, I got a dinner I got to go to.
Yeah.
I got a dinner I got to attend. Has to do with my family. It'll be fun. We're fine. And then, what else am I? There's a train coming. Doggone
I
it.
hear that.
So, real quick. And then on the Ulcerberg, where I'm the normal person, and it's cool. Fucking trains.
It's literally like 30
Shit.
feet from his
You mean
house.
Gloomfall?
Yeah, I'm rushing through it because it's a stupid ass fucking goddamn piece of shit train.
All right.
all right. Who's next?
Yeah, hi, I'm Brian. I played Shaba Young tonight. Probably made the best decision in my life to get the fuck out of there. I would not have survived that.
To be fair, their entire contingent wasn't the higher level ones, but they did have a few higher level.
They had superior numbers. I didn't have much help.
They did. That's true. They did.
Yeah, I forgot I took damage in the last session too, so I was like, oh. But anyway, so yeah, now she's disintegrating armored personnel carriers and possibly a couple of tanks. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Let's see. On Thursday, you find me in New Amsterdam, where I'm playing Connor, the oh so lovable Scottish solo mercenary that got a new toy that technically can take down an APC armor unit. You just saying, going to use it as a sniper rifle. And on Sundays, and this Sunday coming, I run Gloomfall with this lovely band of people who are going to try to take on some Driders. Let's hope they haven't overthought everything. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll be starting on alternating Sundays opposite of Gloomfall after the bomb, Twilight 2000 4th edition. A group of people who are trying to survive basically after World War III because it went on for 5 years and, well, the not much left to fight about. And this time around, they're in Switzerland. They're not Switzerland, Sweden. Let's go north more. Yeah, should be interesting.
Awesome. Next.
Hello,
Do we
ladies
wanna
and
get a
gentlemen. My name is Cyrus Smith, and today
Ah,
I took a
hey.
nap. No, seriously, the scene I came in was the tail end of you guys trying to figure out what to do with what's his nuts, and I didn't really understand what was going on. So Twinkle took a nap on the bridge while you guys just decided what the hell was going on. And then we flipped. So, yeah, you can also find me this coming Wednesday running a game called Over the Horizon. I'm trying to think of a one sentence pitch for this. Do you want to come see college students try and figure out what being an adventurer is supposed to be? Because that's what it is.
Accurate.
We've pretty accurate. It's bar crawls and getting money, right? Kind of? Question mark. We'll see how long that lasts.
Murder
you-
hobo, murder hobo, murder hobo.
They haven't done that yet. We'll see what happens. You can also find me on Thursday playing, Marcin Andretti in New Amsterdam. Well, the fun part is over. Now we've got to go fight a war. Obligatory cat moment. Cat camp. You can also find me on Sunday in Gloomfall and After the Bomb when it comes around, and that's me.
Awesome.
Does that leave me?
You and Zai. You,
Oh shit.
I think.
No, Brian?
Brian went.
Well, I already
yeah,
went.
he went. He already
And
went.
I went because I went
Oh,
before
okay.
Shara.
Then it's
Yeah,
yeah,
it should
then it's
just be.
just you.
All right. Well, hello everybody. My name is Mira, also known as Mike, also known as Win 5 Get 1 Free. And today you caught me playing with Aki the Seekers, who laid out a little bit of a truth sandwich on Vesa, and hopes that he helped because he knows that everyone has potential to do good. Everyone except for Matthias Merch Dieschborg. He looked into that guy's file and he was unhelpable. Anyway, and Prosov. You also can't really help Prosov.
Thank
You
you.
know what? Actually, that loyalty guy as well probably can't really help him all that much. My argument's crumbling as I go. I also run Thursday nights with New Amsterdam, where there's some really big important meetings about to happen. Combat happened. We had a big combat. Now it's gonna be a little bit of not combat until we have a big combat, and I'm very excited for the big combat. You can also catch me, if my brain and mouth will work, every Sunday, whether it will be After the Bomb or whether it will be Gloomfall. I am in both of those. Gloomfall, I'm Madame Yinvrath. She likes developing talent. Other than that, if you are currently watching us on YouTube, we love you so much. But also, wait, silly goose, could be watching us live on twitch.tv/pair_o_dice_theater. And if you happen to be watching us live on Twitch, we love you so much. But also, you could be proving your undying cult-like loyalty to us, maybe even just to me. I would make a good cult leader. At youtube.com/pair_o_dice_theater, no underscores, fastest handle in the West. And if you happen to be a fan of the fast, hot, and sexy world of scheduling, you also happen to be a community member who does, in fact, like being interacted with, and you like hot meows.
Meows.
I love meow.
God, I'm trying to find a way to continue to spice up hot memes. I mean, I could just
Hey,
go.
kid, you want some hot memes? I got some in my truck.
Oh God.
There we go.
Creepy
There we go.
AF,
Let's
man.
just not. Let's just not.
3 swings and 2 misses. Computer King hits it out of the park. Proud of you,
Dun,
champ.
dun, dun.
Catch us at Pair Theater on Twitter. But yeah, that is me.
All right. That brings it back to me. And I am going to, let's see, first of all, uh, everybody gets 10,000 XP for the session. Player's choice is a tie between Withaki and Xander. So give each of yourselves 500 experience points on top of that.
You said
So,
10,000?
yep.
Okay.
So, see. All right. And with that said, let's see. I guess I'll finish typing that later. With that said, I am the Justy King Zerat, and you can catch me on Monday nights running this crazy Fire Shrike thing that's going on here. And you can also catch me every other Sunday for Gloomfall, where I play Gorgork, the Forge Spitter. And we're going to put that big axe to the test here. Hope this time, hopefully, if we've got everything ready to go and able to get these things fought. And that's really every now and again you can catch me on my other channel of Zerat, although it's usually better to just go, pop in and see if I've got a video because I don't have a regular time. But the videos are still sometimes interesting to watch. I think that's all we've got for you tonight. So let's get an RIP Fern and get out of here.
All right.
RIP Fern.